It is time for Shots and Ladders, your home for gambling, drinking, and degeneracy. My name's Colson Dobson. That's Connor Franklin. He's our degenerate gambler, our semi-professional poker player. And,
yes, sir.
Connor,
we have had a rough start to the football season, Colson.
Yeah.
It has not gone according to plan by anyone's expectations.
Well, when you think about the show,
okay,
and you think about what has been said on the show, things have not gone great. If you only focus on the See Easy Bets Twitter account, things have gone pretty well.
Things are going pretty well on the See Easy Bets Twitter account.
Any money lost on the show has been made back, and quite a bit, from Connor's Twitter account, See Easy Bets, where he is placing a prop bet parlay on Monday night games, Thursday night games, every single week. You're 2 for 4.
2 for 4.
50%. And these are bets that are $100 to win $1,500.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, things are looking up there.
Things have started pretty good on there.
Maybe we should have started a podcast that only talks about
player prop parlays. At this point, it might be the only thing that we know.
Yeah. Because we're not doing bad on the ladder parlays. Things are going fine except for that square right there. We made a huge deal about it last week. I didn't even watch Connor place the bet. When he wrote it down, I looked away, and he said, this one we know for a fact is going to hit. I said, I won't even look. I'm not even going to argue with it. He writes down New York Jets money line.
And what do you know? What fucking happens?
The Denver Broncos only can beat good teams.
They only know how to beat good teams. And it wasn't even that we thought that the Jets were that good of a team. It was just on paper. Everything pointed to the fact that Rodgers was going to be able to beat the Broncos in Mile High. And it came down to a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
And
if a man walked up to me last Friday night and said, here's $500,000. If the Jets score less than 10 points, you don't get this $500,000. If the Jets score more than 10 points, you get this $500,000.
You're already spending the money.
I'm
like
literally,
before the game happens.
We're already putting the down payment on the house.
Yeah.
Like it's obviously the Jets are going to score more than 10 points. No, they lose 9 to 10. So we are 0 for 4 on just that square,
which is supposed to be the biggest lock of the week.
Yeah.
Just the guaranteed, hey, this is the one that's going to hit.
So we're going to figure it out.
It's going to turn around this week. I guarantee this one will hit.
Yep, this is the week. Nothing too notable to talk about last week. Thursday night football game, though, yesterday, if you're watching this, it'll be Saturday. So Thursday night football game was electrifying. Kirk Cousins threw for 507 yards and 4 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield played good. They should have let him throw the ball more, I think. Only 24 attempts. When he has over 80% completions with 3 touchdowns, they should have, I don't know.
The See Easy Bets player prop hit.
It did, yeah.
And there was another one that you and I were sweating that wasn't posted. Would have won another 1,000, but Rachaad White, who's one of the top pass-catching running backs in the entire NFL, I needed him to get 11 receiving yards, and he ended with -4. So that felt great. That was the only one that didn't hit. That would have been a $2,500 day, which would have been big.
Yeah.
But, I'm still happy that we hit the one. Hopefully everyone's tailing it. But yeah, it went good. That was a great game. Fun to watch. I hope that there's more games like this week that are that exciting to watch. And just based on the matchups that we have and how much I despise every line, I'm thinking that there's going to be a lot of good games. And I'm excited for football this week.
Hell yeah, me too. Super excited for football. Super excited for playoff baseball. I know you're not, and we won't talk about it because it's baseball, but I'm excited for that. It's a good time to be alive. Sports in October are fun. Hockey season's regular season started today. Basketball season's kicking off soon. It's a good time to be a sports fan, but I think it was last year. Wasn't it last year that Sunday night or Thursday night football on Amazon Prime kicked off?
It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they started out with a string of just like shitty game after
the
shitty
worst game you could get.
And I'm a big always been an Al Michaels fan. I'm a hockey guy. So growing up, I watched the movie Miracle 100 times. I don't know if you've ever seen Miracle, but just that call at the end of the Soviet game is, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes. Fucking incredible. Loved Al Michaels. I've always loved Kirk Herbstreit. He's the voice of college football. So it was a bummer last year them having like a shitty Thursday night football run for games. So having that barn burner of a game with the first really, I think it's the first like mega explosive, mega stat game that a quarterback has had all year. I don't think a quarterback has had like one of those like insane games.
Yeah, yards and touchdowns wise, no. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, Jaden Daniels had the perfect game.
Right. Jared Goff had an actual perfect game.
An actual perfect game, yeah. So, like, quarterbacks have been doing good. And we've definitely noticed the trend where weeks 1 and 2, it was running back heavy. It was people ground and pound, run the football because no one's practicing during preseason. Quarterbacks and offenses are up and running, and these teams are throwing the ball. It was a fun game to watch.
Overs did better last week, too.
It is. And we talked about it last week during the show where all of the lines for the games had kept moving down, where everything was between 38 and 43-point spreads rather than the 45 to 50 we had been seeing. We talked about it. That was a week to hammer overs, and overs hit a lot.
Overs did really good. Cool.
Okay.
Moving on to week 5 of the NFL season. As far as, let's talk about it real briefly. The Cardinals they disappointed against the Commanders. Maybe the Commanders are a wagon. Our defense didn't look great, but the Cardinals are off to a 1-3 start. We're going to bounce back, get a huge division win, and be 2-0 in our division, beating the Niners this week. Steelers got their first loss in Lucas Oil Stadium against the Colts under Big Ben's eyes. I mean, Big Ben was in the Pat McAfee suite in the end zone, watching right there. I mean, talking to the coaches, Bummer that the Steelers lost that game. I was excited that they did.
It was a hard game to lose, but I gotta say, that game gave me more confidence than any of the 3 wins that we had previously did. Watching the offense, Justin Fields is actually starting to look like a good franchise quarterback.
Right.
I'm hoping Russell Wilson doesn't come back in and pretend he's the starter. Like, this is Justin Fields' team. He's leading it. He's looking amazing out there. His percentages are awesome. Run the ball, pass the ball, everything that we're needing him to do, he's doing well. And the offense was really gelling. So that game gave me more confidence than the 3 wins previous. So.
And you knew you weren't going to go undefeated.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're going to lose games.
It was bound to happen.
And if the Steelers are going to lose games, coming from a non-Steelers fan, it's like the Steelers aren't going to lose the games where it's like, oh, the Steelers shouldn't win this game. Like, they're going to win those ones. If the Steelers are going to lose games, it's going to be the ones where they're favored or they should win. Like, oh, this is a good bet on the Steelers. Those are the ones that are going to lose.
That's why I don't like being favorites every week. This is the 4th week in a row now that we're coming out as favorites in a game, and it's like those are the games that we tend to lose. We usually win the ones that we're 3 to 5 point underdogs. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for this first game, though, because we get an entire day of NFL football. Not just from 11 o'clock on. We got a Sunday morning football game. The New York Jets at Minnesota Vikings in London. Vikings are coming in as 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is sitting at 40.5.
I hate this game.
I love this game.
Literally, you love this game?
This is one of the ones that I love. Because I was burned by them last week, and I keep underestimating. I've underestimated both of these teams. And I am a big Sam Darnold believer. I am a big Vikings believer. But traveling international takes a different kind of person to be able to perform as well overseas as when you're in the States. And I think Aaron Rodgers and the Jets are going to come out, actually, and upset the Minnesota Vikings.
Really?
I do. And that's nothing against the Vikings. I think Sam Darnold has been one of, if not the best quarterback in the NFL through these first 4 weeks. The Vikings have surprised me. I think Sauce Gardner is one of maybe 2 cornerbacks in the NFL that is going to be able to shut down Justin Jefferson.
Who's your second, just out of curiosity?
Huh?
Who's your second corner?
He has 2.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, it's Surtain and Gardner are the 2 best right now. So I'm taking the Jets plus 2.5.
Okay.
Really not a ton as far as injuries go on either side. Both teams are pretty healthy. I think this is going to be a big Jordan Addison week. The Vikings number 2, because I think Jefferson will get shut down. He'll
Start
still
him in
find
your
his way
fantasy
for.
leagues.
Yeah,
Start him in the fantasy
100%.
leagues.
I haven't started in mine right now,
Do you?
which
Yeah.
I needed because we're in a league together, and my team has been
The injury report.
obliterated
Yeah.
by injuries and other issues. It's not been a good last 2 weeks for me. I miss Rashi Rice, miss Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
My team's hurting, but Addison's
Devonta.
coming in. Devontae.
I don't know.
Tomato, potato.
I don't
you know?
think people's names are potato, potato. And the only person whose name is potato, potato, tomato, tomato that has said it's actually that is Alvin Kamara. Because is it Kamara? Is it Kamara? Is it Kamara? He's like, I don't care. You call me whatever you want. It
I
doesn't
will
matter
say
to me.
I've heard a lot more people refer to him as Devontae than Devonta.
Devonta Smith.
Devontae Smith.
That sounds
Devonta.
Devonta sounds horrible. I think I'm wrong about that. The problem is when you see Devontae, you usually see the E at the end of the A. Like Devontae, Devontae is Devontae, but he just has the A with no E, so it's like Devonta.
Yeah.
I guess that would be. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, Devontae Smith. Yeah,
Either one. Obviously, I can't wait for him to get back. I'm excited for him to be back from that nasty concussion.
Yeah.
He'll be back next week. Eagles are on a bye this week, so
okay. I'm gonna ride the hot hand and continue to ride the hot hand.
Minus
Yeah,
2.5.
Not gonna bet against the Vikings until they give me a reason to bet against them. They've looked phenomenal up to this point. I love Kevin O'Connell. I think B-Flow, Brian Flores has got the defense buzzing. I think
defense is looking good.
It's going to be another rainy day, which it was for the Broncos-Jets game. And Aaron Rodgers did not show that. I know he can play in the rain because he did. I mean, he played in Green Bay. He's used to playing in shitty weather, but it wasn't. Maybe it's not a him thing. Their team in general didn't fare well in rainy weather. It's going to be rainy in I forget the name of the stadium that they're playing in London, but it's going to be rainy. I don't love it for them. I just think head coach, you put head coach against head coach, give me Kevin O'Connell over Robert Saleh all day. So I'll take the Vikings.
Okay. Over under 40.5.
It's rainy, so it makes me want to take the under, but I don't see it. The Vikings haven't hit an under this year, I don't think.
I could see either one of the teams scoring 40.5 on their own.
Yeah.
Despite it being rainy. Aaron Jones is going to come out.
He's going to
be a dog.
Rock, dude.
I needed him to get a touchdown last week. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I also, Breece Hall has become a major concern for a lot of fantasy owners right now because Braylon Allen is coming in and looking amazing.
He looks
Breece
really
is just
good.
not getting the work that people were expecting him to. I think that changes this week. I think Breece Hall is going to have a huge day.
Okay.
I'm going to pretty confidently take the over on this one.
Okay.
Despite the rain, despite everything else, I think the Jets keep it close or win it, and I take the over.
I think the over-under is a stay away from me, so I'm not going to bet on that. Let's move on to game 2.
Yeah, Cleveland Browns going into Washington, playing the Commanders. Commanders are coming out as 3.5-point favorites.
Love it. Not a lot needs to be said, but watching, dude, that, like, we watch the games on multi-view, obviously. Everybody that has NFL Sunday Ticket, YouTube TV does. And it's my house where we're watching the game, so I'm in control of the remote, my living room, sitting in my chair, and I try to keep it like we're not watching a single commercial the whole day. We're bouncing between games like if I see a team's in the red zone, I'll move over to that game. I'm trying to do my best Scott Hansen impression, but like I refused. It got to a point in that Cardinals-Commanders game where I wouldn't put the multi-view, like the sound, onto that game because it was so frustrating to watch. Our defense just like we had no answers for anything that they did, none. And the Browns are supposed to have this incredible defense that. I mean, last year they were the best home defense by far, and I know you've said that people say they have a great defense only because of Myles Garrett. Name another person on their defense, nobody can, but Charvarius Ward's a good one. But anyways, the Commanders are the real deal, and it's another thing, same as the game before. Like I'm gonna ride the hot hand with the Commanders because I think Jaden Daniels has so much momentum. Dan Quinn has so much momentum. Cliff Kingsbury probably hasn't felt this good since he had won like 3 games in a row. Or no, I guess since he won 7 games in a row the first
In
7
Arizona.
games in Arizona, he probably felt pretty good. But like freeing him up, and
He
maybe
got his revenge game.
he got his
We
revenge
talked
game.
about it on the show.
But I also think
big revenge game.
maybe Cliff will be a head coach in the NFL someday. But like he's a young guy. He got his head coaching job too soon. And so many coaches will talk about like Raheem Morris is a good example of like he got a head coaching job really early. And it's like when you're a coordinator, you don't realize how much actually goes into being a head coach. Like you're not even coaching a football team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're dealing with politics. You're dealing with media. You're dealing with so much random bullshit. It's like you're almost separated from the team. And having Cliff Kingsbury being back in just being an offensive coordinator, and he's a brilliant offensive mind.
Amazing.
And that's all he has to focus on, and Dan Quinn has to deal with all the other bullshit. I think Cliff has got it figured out. Looking at just the route trees for Terry McLaurin, where Jaden McDaniels is putting the football, his completion percentage is a lot because of him. He's an accurate thrower, and he's playing really good. But a lot of quarterbacks having good completion percentage, like Ben Johnson's one of the best offensive coordinators in the NFL, and he's probably the best at marrying the pass and the run. And that's why Jared Goff went 18 for 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has a lot to do with Jared Goff throwing the ball in the right spot, which you're an NFL quarterback, you should. Your offensive coordinators who sets you up. Cliff Kingsbury is swinging a hot bat, and I don't think he's going to
100%.
stop swinging a hot bat. I love the Commanders here. I think the Browns are going to have to start looking themselves in the mirror and saying, we actually let Joe Flacco out of the building, and that was the biggest mistake we've made since we let Baker Mayfield out of the building. Like, I don't know who's making the fucking decisions there, but Deshaun Watson looks like
choice.
Deshaun Watson looks like shit. Joe Flacco comes in for the Colts and fucking throws 2 times. I mean, we could talk all the shit on the Browns. I was high on the Browns coming into the year. I'm a man. A man can admit when he's wrong. I will admit I was wrong about the Browns. Browns stink. Give me the Commanders.
I have been the biggest Browns hater this entire year.
For sure.
And that's not going to stop here. But
I don't like the Bucs.
I do not see the Commanders as a 4-1 team. So I'm a big believer that records kind of even out as the NFL season goes on. And you could have a team start out really bad that you don't think is that bad, and they're going to win more games towards the end because their record's going to kind of get them to where they need to be. Commanders don't feel like a 4-1 team, and the Browns don't feel like a 1-4 team. I think that a lot of people are very high on the Commanders right now, and I think a lot of people are very low on the Browns. This feels like the ultimate trap game for me, where everything, every single stat, all the energy, all the emotion points to the Commanders winning, which means that's where I worry about happening. I could see the Browns keeping this within 3 points. The 3.5-point spread, that little hook on the end of it.
The hook, yeah.
The hook. I'm actually going to take the Browns to cover the hook on
that
this.
is very surprising.
I know. And that is, it's surprising coming from me because I have been the biggest advocate of the Browns suck. The Browns are the worst team ever. I hate everything about them. But let's look at some of the money right now. So 95% of the money line bets are on the Commanders, and 66% of the spread bets are on the Commanders. This feels like one that's going to shock a lot of people, and Vegas is going to make some money.
Maybe this is the week Vegas starts losing.
I hope it does. I hope beyond anything else that I'm wrong on this pick. I want to be wrong. I want the Commanders to come out and prove me wrong because I fucking hate the Browns.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the Browns plus 3.5.
Give me a Commanders boat race. What do we got next?
Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens coming off very, very good week last week. Going into Cincinnati, division matchup. Cincinnati is coming in as 2.5-point dogs to the Ravens.
Okay.
Where are you sitting on this?
I like the Bengals here. I think
I do too.
Week 5, Joe Burrow's, they've got it figured out now. Jamar Chase has got it figured out. They're back in their groove. I think, and I don't, watching like Lamar Jackson and on Instagram Live for Marlon Humphrey or he's not a guy that loses focus, but a football roster is 53, right? They just beat the shit out of the Bills on Sunday Night Football. And then you're going into a Bengals team that's been underwhelming at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. It feels like a game where the Ravens get out, start flat, and don't make it back up. And the Ravens, I mean, I think it'll be a close game, but that's kind of the main reason I'm taking the dog here. I like the Bengals covering the spread. I think Joey B is due to like have a Joey B game. Like, okay, Kirk Cousins finally
Yes.
had his game where he came out, he threw 500. And it's not that it's the Kirk Cousins game, but it's a quarterback. Like, finally a quarterback comes out, throws 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, all right, now quarterbacks are going to start following suit. Offenses are going to start rolling. I think Joey B, like if you have Joey B in fantasy and you've got him on your bench because he hasn't looked great, I think this is the week to put him out there. It's a tough Ravens defense. I don't think it matters. I think he's going to come out with a chip on his shoulder, and I think him, Zach Taylor, and the boys are they're gonna beat the Ravens.
I think this is going to be an absolute shootout of a game. The over/under is 49.
It makes sense.
And I'm still taking the over on this. I think this game is. I think both teams are going to end up in the 30-point range for this.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to watch it. These are two very good offenses, very fun.
It's an 11 o'clock game.
11 o'clock game. I know. I'll be tuned into this for an 11 o'clock game. I'm sure you will be too.
Yeah, I got a hockey game at 12:45, so I'm gonna watch the first hour for sure.
But okay. Well, I will. I'll be sitting in your spot watching the game then.
You control the remote, make the changes.
Next up is the other game of the week for me. I think the two games of the week are happening at the same time. Both juggernaut AFC matchups. Next up is we got the Buffalo Bills going in as dogs. 1-point dogs to the Houston Texans.
That's a good
in
game.
Houston.
That's a really good game.
Bills coming after a brutal loss. They got their shit kicked in to the Ravens. That was a hard game to watch. Obviously, I was rooting for the Bills pretty hard. I talked about it on the show. I was a big believer in Josh Allen and the team.
We had a slap bet on that one.
Did we?
We did.
I didn't.
We had 3 slap bets in the last episode.
So the only one I had remembered was the shot and dizzy bat that I bet with Sam.
Oh, me and you had 3 slap bets.
I keep forgetting to write everything down.
Yeah, we'll get to them in the second hour. We'll find out what they were.
We might have to cut the video to that slap right now if we go. We can go cut through and figure out where the bets are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, where I'm at with this one, I think CJ Stroud's kind of back down to earth. I think D'Amico Ryans is back down to earth. I don't think the Texans are going to end up having as good of a year as they were projected to. And that's the thing. That's the parody of the NFL. That's the beautiful thing about. And I brought up baseball earlier, but you could talk about baseball. You can talk about basketball. You can talk about whatever. If you don't have a set salary cap and you don't have a snake draft based off team with the worst record goes first, team with the second worst record goes second, you lack parity in your league. The NFL has it set up the perfect way to have as much parity as possible. That's why there's teams that make the playoffs every year that didn't make the playoffs the year before, and teams that made the playoff the year before that don't make the playoffs the next year. I think the Houston Texans are one of the teams that is going to kind of disappoint in the AFC South. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They've looked human, and they didn't look human last year. And momentum's a real thing, and you could ride momentum for a long time, but I think their momentum's kind of run out. Give me the Bills bouncing back after the Ravens here, especially as dogs. I understand they're in Houston, right?
They are in Houston.
But
one thing to note, though, the Bills' #1 receiver is out for the game. Khalil Shakir, Boise State legend, is not going to be playing in this game. Okay. So it's going to be Keon Coleman and Curtis Samuel.
Is Josh Allen playing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, give me the Bills.
Perfect. I am also still going to take the Bills to cover this, even with Khalil Shakir being out. I think this is going to be another really fun game to watch. 47-point spread. This one I could also see going over. I think this one and the Ravens-Bengals are both going to be best games of the week to watch. I am going to hammer the over on both of them. Texans, though, Stephon Diggs' revenge game. Coming back in, gets the face against Josh Allen and the Bills. Their #1 receivers out. I could see Stephon Diggs having a very big game. I don't think it's going to be big enough to win them the game.
Yeah.
But him and Nico Collins right now are looking like an elite duo. I don't know if I can name a better receiver duo in the NFL right now with the way that they're playing. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are probably the closest. You got the Chase and Higgins, Debo and Ayuk.
What about Darnell Mooney and Drake London. Jeez.
Fuck, after last night.
Jeez. So I agree with. I think you have good points. I just don't see the Bills losing 2 games in a row. Number one, number two, a wide receiver revenge game wide receivers depend on their quarterback, and it's not a CJ Stroud revenge game.
No, I think Diggs will have an individual good performance, but I don't think it's going to be good enough to fuel the entire team to a win.
Cool. What do we got next?
Next up, Carolina Panthers going into Chicago. Bears are 4-point favorites at home versus Panthers. Quarterback revenge game again. Andy Dalton played on the Bears. He's kind of been everywhere, though.
He's going to have revenge games.
He's going to have a lot of revenge games.
His revenge game last week didn't go very well.
Super notable injuries. A couple backups. Everyone's looking pretty good. How are you feeling on this game? Because I don't like anything about this game.
I don't like it either, but I do know that the Carolina Panthers got a taste of victory. They got a taste what that was like. They got a taste what the week after win was like. And then they go into Cincinnati, chins held high, chests out, super excited. A lot of people were betting on them. I picked them, and it wasn't great. But I think that's a testament to Bengals week 4. Like, the Bengals are going to keep ramping it up. They're going to keep getting better. I like the Panthers here. I'm sorry, Clayton. Really, you can call it sleeping on the Bears, but I just don't. Watching Bears football is like hard for me. Like, it's just not fun to watch. Caleb Williams is a first-round pick quarterback that will be good eventually, isn't good yet. I think Bears fans are calling for Eberflus's head already. And the vibes are just bad. And I think the vibes in Carolina, believe it or not, are better just because they're 1-3. Like, they're not 0-4. They're 1-3. Fuck yeah, let's go. We're the Panthers.
Everyone was worried about a winless season coming out of Carolina. Yeah. With the way that they played those first 2 weeks, everyone was scared about it. But I think Caleb Williams and the Bears are starting to click. They had, in my mind, it was an upset last week. They came in as favorites against the Rams, beat them by 6 points still. And the Rams are obviously very, very injured right now, missing Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. But I thought the Rams were going to win that game straight up. I thought that they were going to win it with the spread. The Bears impressed me a little bit, holding on to it. And I'm going to keep riding that hot hand. Give me Caleb Williams and the Bears -4 in home against Carolina. I think this is going to be the first time
you picked
all week or all year that I've picked against the Carolina Panthers.
And it's for the Bears.
It's for the Bears, which are the team that I've picked against the most.
The Bears. All right. I like it. What's the over-under on
41. That it's a low over-under.
Yeah, I'd stay away from it. I don't like the over-unders this week at all. Everything seems like flipped up on its head. I'm
kind of feeling that as well.
I'm seeing the crystal ball as far as like the game matchups a little bit, but I'm not like when it comes to the over-unders, the crystal ball is like shattered.
Yeah, I'm not having one this week that's just like screaming over the top for me that, hey, this is the over-under bet that you need to make. Everything kind of feels like a nasty line.
Yeah,
but,
I'm with you.
Next up, Colts go into Jacksonville.
Okay.
This is a confusing game for me.
Yeah.
Jacksonville coming in as 3-point favorites, despite being the only winless team in the NFL right now.
It's a really
Colts
weird.
have not won in Jacksonville since 2014. Patrick Mahomes was in college playing ball the last time that the Colts went into Jacksonville and won. Kyler Murray was probably still in high school.
2014, he was in high school. Yeah.
It was. That would have been, senior year?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm older than Kyler. Or I might be his age. That was
I was a freshman in high school when the Colts last beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Streaks are meant to be broken.
I agree with that, but this is
not this week.
No.
Jacksonville is not an 0-5 team.
That's my point. It's like when you're playing roulette, and Sam, he'll be joining us in the second hour. He's a big roulette player, and he just plays red and black. And one of the things he does is like he'll wait for it to hit red 4 times in a row, and then he'll make the bet on black because there's no way it goes red 5 times in a row. That's how it feels with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's just like there's no fucking way they lose 5 games. They're not the
Yeah.
only 0-5 team.
I really do wish though that this line was flip flopped. I wish that the Colts were -3 and the Jags were +3 because it would make it so much easier to bet on the Jaguars.
Mhm.
It's confusing to me why a team that is 0-4 in a divisional matchup
Against
is going
a 2-2 team,
against a 2-2 team is going in as 3-point favorites against anything.
and they're home.
They haven't looked
It's at
great.
Trevor Bank.
I will admit, Trevor Lawrence has not looked good. Travis Etienne is not running as hard as I was thinking he was going to come in here and do. But the Colts are without Jonathan Taylor, which is a big part of their offense. He is
Right.
their offense.
Yeah,
Anthony Richardson has been dealing with a knee injury.
that's a good thing for the Colts.
I know. It's honestly better for them if Joe Flacco starts. I think
Yeah.
I would be a lot more scared to take this bet if Flacco was the starter. But with Jonathan Taylor being out, give me the streak to stay alive. Give me Jaguars -3.
I'm with you there. What do we have? Well, I don't really care about the over-under.
46.
Give me the under. Jesus, 46.
I as well agree. That is a
All right.
very high under for no reason.
That's stinky. That smells really bad. I don't
Everything
like that.
about the game screams stay away from
That's stinky. What do we got next?
me. Dolphins going into New England,
Going
playing against the Patriots.
to Gillette Stadium.
You got a divisional game.
What a shitty game.
I feel
Jeez.
like we've got a couple of these in the last couple of weeks where it's just everything about the game makes me. It almost makes me want to just turn off the TV and not watch football instead of having to watch this game. But something about it being a divisional game. These teams aren't. I think they're going to impress some people because both teams are so bad. Two bad teams always goes one of two ways, right? It either means, okay, this is a low-scoring, boring affair, or a high-scoring, bad defensive affair. And that's kind of what I see this going towards. I think this is going to end up being like a 27-24 game that the Dolphins eke out.
Dolphins' best defensive front player. God, he just got injured. He's out. Can't remember if he's a tackle or a DN.
Jordan Phillips? Is he out?
No, I don't think it's Jordan Phillips. Fuck.
Because the only person I'm seeing on the Dolphins injury report as being out is Jordan Poyer, a safety.
Right.
I'm not seeing a single defensive lineman on their injury report right now.
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Jordan Poyer's head went right into his kneecap when Jordan Poyer was making a tackle. If I remember right, I could be. Maybe I dreamt about it. I don't know. My dreams get pretty close to my reality. So
Let me see what I have on here. Jalen Phillips. What's this? Let me see if this is showing anything here. Shoot.
either way,
Unless I'm just not seeing this.
While you're looking that up, the way I see it, Patriots have a pretty.
Yep, Jalen Phillips out for a season with a knee injury.
Okay, so I was right.
Yep, forgot about that.
Jalen Phillips is out. Dolphins still have a pretty decent secondary. The Patriots have a good defense, but a lot of their good defense has to do with Christian Gonzalez and his lockdown defense on receivers, which I don't think translates to playing against the Dolphins with the Mike McDaniel offense, just because of the way they do things. Like you can't travel with a receiver. You can't travel with Tyreek Hill in that offense. There's too many motions. There's too much shit going on. I think Tyler Huntley had another week of preparation, another week of figuring out that offense. Like, it's such a complicated offense for him Tyler Huntley being on the team for 9 days to go out and try and play. And like a lot of what they were doing wasn't working. But his first offensive play of the game, he throws a strike downfield to Jalen Waddle. And it was like, oh my God, they're going to win this game. Like, this looks great. And then he didn't throw the ball down the field the rest of the game. I think they're going to kind of lean on that and figure out how to keep that working. I think the Dolphins bounce back. I'm really low on the Patriots for a lot of reasons. One of them being Jacoby Brissett should be able to throw the ball down the field. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to throw the ball down the field. And Kirk Cousins threw more passing yards last night than the Patriots have all year. Which just
Ready for the bold prediction of the week?
Sure, go for it.
I talked about it during our week 1 podcast. And I think this is the week that it happens. Drake May will be the starting quarterback by the end of this game. I think that the Patriots are going to come out sluggish against a team that everyone in New England is like, hey, this is the game that we should win. Mm-hmm. You look at the schedule right now, you need a bounce back right now. It's the Skylar Thompson and Tua Tagovailoa-less Dolphins. That's the game that you should win. I think the Dolphins are going to come out. I think the Dolphins are going to be up by probably 5 to 10 at halftime. And Gerard Mayo is going to need a coaching change. So they were talking about it on the Pat McAfee show. There was a reporter.
What show?
Pat McAfee show?
Never heard of it.
Oh, I know you have.
Sorry,
so one of the Patriots reporters that actually works for the team, he's not a beat reporter for another site. It was just the Patriots reporter. He works for the Patriots.
Wow. Released
an article for the Patriots saying that the team is going to mutiny if something doesn't change. It came out after the fact and amended it. He was like, okay, I used harsh words. I didn't exactly mean it like that.
His mutiny was strong.
He's like, hold up. Like, let me present my statements, because obviously the Patriots went at him and was like, hey, don't say this shit. But the players are fed up.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett was supposed to come in and be the veteran presence that this team needed to start winning some games, and he's not doing that.
No.
Drake May was the better quarterback in preseason. I think at halftime he comes out, and a part of me wants to take the Patriots to win it, because I think when Drake May comes back in, it's going to make it a close game. Yeah. But I'm hoping that the Dolphins are going to be enough ahead by halftime that's not going to happen. But that's the bold prediction of the week. Jacoby Brissett will not end this game as the Patriots quarterback, because the Dolphins are going to win this.
Okay. I like the Dolphins too. That's a very specific prediction. 5 to 10 points. I like it. I love it. I think it's great. Gerard Mayo has talked about how they have a plan, and the plan is to start Jacoby. I think the locker room does start to get to that point where like people start giving Jacoby the cold shoulder.
Yeah, because if Brissett was out here winning games, yes, you're not going to root for Drake May to come in here, but he's looked not good. They have the one upset week 1 against the Bengals, where the Bengals didn't have half of their offense playing.
Yeah,
and that was obviously a big upset. Emotions were high, spirits were high after that, and it's just gone down, 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 down. Fuck, if I was playing for the Patriots, I wouldn't want to play for Jacoby Brissett right now. He's done nothing to instill confidence in me as a leader.
You've been talking about the McAfee show. They brought it up on the McAfee show. This is like a different point, but Darius Butler said, when you are trotting out on the field and you know your quarterback has stunk, kind of stinks, we're not going to be able to move the ball. It's like, and just being a DB or a defensive player coming out, you're just like, damn, like,
the fuck am I doing?
Have a shot. Like, we're not, like, this is going to be a tough game, even if they're playing the Dolphins. So, yeah, I'm with you, like, with the locker room. I think that reporter's probably got better eyes on it than we do. Obviously, he does, but I like your prediction. I think that's good, and I really, 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 really hope for Drake May's sake that he does come out and look really good, because their whole idea of sitting Drake May behind Jacoby Brissett for a full year, I think is awesome for Drake May. And the fact that Jacoby Brissett has got it to the point where Drake May is going to have to come in early, I think sucks for Drake May. I really, really wish he could sit the full year. But
I'm hoping the best for him. Yeah, I drafted him in my dynasty league. I took him first round pick, was Drake May. I was a big believer coming out of UNC. I think he's going to do good for the Patriots. I'm hoping he's not the next Mac Jones. I'm hoping more along the lines of the Tom Brady. But I think the over in this game, surprisingly, is on almost lock. 35.5.
Yeah,
against two bad teams, because I think the Dolphins are going to move the ball so well to start, and the Patriots are going to put in May, get the spark, and then high-scoring second half. I think the over on that. A lot of people are going to think the under because the Patriots are supposed to be a good defense. Yeah. They really only have Christian Gonzalez. They're going to lock down whatever corner's over there against him. He's probably going to be shadowing Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. So I think Waddle on any of his overs are going to be a good bet this week. Okay. But yeah, give me the Dolphins -1 and give me the over.
See the game going like 27-14. And that's 40. Jeez, that's 41 points.
Hit the over by a full touchdown.
Yeah.
By a full touchdown.
All right, I'm with you. I'm with you on that over.
Next up, we have, let's see here, what's the next game here? We got the Cardinals coming in as 7.5-point dogs for the San Francisco 49ers.
in San Francisco.
in San Francisco.
Give me the Cardinals.
Could have guessed that one was coming.
I don't have a lot to say.
It's hard for me because the Cardinals have looked so much better than their record has for probably 3/4 out of every game.
Yeah.
But there's always that 10 to 15 minute span where the other team just has their way with them. And last week it was not a 10 to 15 minute span. It was the entire game the Cardinals did.
Yeah.
And I think that Kyle Shanahan is better than Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury coaches for a different team.
I know.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
Yeah. Coaches for the Commanders, who had their way with the Cardinals
I see what you're saying.
all of last week.
My
and
bad.
now,
My bad.
Yep. Kyle Shanahan's going to come in. Give me the Niners minus 7.5 here. Everything in me wants to take them, but division game, Niners are starting to be back to fully healthy besides CMC. Everyone else is looking up and ready to roll. 58% of the bets are on the Niners
With the spread?
with the spread.
That's better than I would think.
90% on the money line.
Yeah.
So could be a good one where Vegas makes some money back if the Cardinals can keep it close or upset it. But give me the Niners minus 7.5. Over under 50.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I wouldn't touch that.
No. Huge high scoring game coming in. So okay, next one. We got the Las Vegas Raiders going into Denver. Take on the Broncos.
This is a tough game,
Raiders
okay?
are missing some key players this week. So Devontae Adams.
They were last week too, though.
Devontae Adams is not playing. Michael Mayer not playing. Zamir White not playing. Max Crosby is doubtful. Probably not going to play.
Hamstring.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of people. Broncos coming in as 3-point favorites.
Where do you think Devontae Adams is going to go? Do you think he goes?
I think he goes. So requested a trade. I don't think we're going to see him suit up for the Raiders again. I think we have seen the last from him, even if he comes back from his hamstring.
Did you see what he posted on his Instagram today?
It was Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, distant relative of mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Wants to play for Lamar. Can't really blame him.
Yeah.
Wants to go to a contender.
What does Aaron Rodgers think though? Looking at that, like my best friend. What did he post on Edgar Allan Poe? Wait, Edgar Allan Poe's most famous.
Yeah.
Transcript. What would you call that?
Writer.
What did he write?
Artist, poem.
His most famous thing that he
Author?
wrote is called The Raven.
Yeah.
And that's why, and he lived in Baltimore, and that's why the Baltimore Ravens are the Baltimore Ravens.
Are the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
a lot of
does
people are
Aaron Rodgers
connecting.
think about that?
A lot of people are connecting him to that, and I could see it happening. Do I want it to happen as a Steelers fan? Absolutely not. I do not want to have to play against Devontae Adams twice every year. But one of the things to consider is salary cap. I don't know how the Ravens are sitting as far as salary cap.
Can't be
I don't know
great.
how I think the Jets have a decent amount, which is why a lot of people were.
They have
connecting
enough
him.
to pay him. For
Yeah,
sure.
that's why a lot of people were connecting him, because you also got to consider if you're going to trade for him, he's going to want a new contract as soon as he gets there too. So you have to take into account his contract that he currently has and what your contract or your salary cap is going to project for the next couple of years.
I think he has
if you give
2
him a new
more
contract.
years left on his deal with the Raiders, but no guaranteed money, which
I saw an article.
it makes sense for him to get the fuck out of there. Number one, because he's been in a quarterback carousel. Number two, they're not a Super Bowl team. They're not going to be a Super Bowl team. They're not even really a playoff team.
I feel like I had seen an article going over the teams that could trade for him right now with his salary the way that it is. And it was like 4 out of the 32 NFL teams had the salary cap that could take him on right now. We'll say one of them was the Pittsburgh Steelers.
One of them is the Cardinals too, by the way.
We
have $22 million in cap space.
Would you want him?
We don't need him. That is not. If we spent our $22 million in cap space on a fucking wide receiver, I would literally drive to Arizona and I would find Michael Bidwell. I'd find Monty Ossenfort. I'd sit them both down and say, "What the fuck are you guys
even
doing?"
mid-season?
No, we don't need a receiver. Receiver's not our problem. We don't have a problem.
Well, here's the thing: the $22 million in cap space right now. You said it's $22 million.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. What are you gonna use that on in the middle of the year?
We need to use
this
it
year's
today
on who?
Defensive players.
Max Crosby, maybe.
I don't give
Maybe
a fuck
the Raiders
who it
do a
is.
burn sell. You guys bring in Max
fire
Crosby.
sell.
Fuck.
Anybody on the defensive side of the ball. We need a corner. We don't need a safety, right? But if you interior linebackers, we have Mac Wilson Sr., who's playing pretty good, and then Kaiser White, who I've really liked. We're pretty good there. But edge, we have Dennis Gardeck and we have Zaven Collins. And if you had to ask me to name another edge rusher, I follow the Cardinals on everything. I literally have read their depth chart. There's nobody behind those two edge rushers that even.
Maybe you guys pull off a trade for Max Crosby then. That would be fun.
That would be
dude.
Fun. I would love if Max Crosby went to the Cardinals and you had Max Crosby, Dennis Gardeck.
I would buy a Max Crosby jersey for the Cardinals right now. I'd support the Cardinals for you.
I will still buy a Max Crosby jersey, one of the custom ones that you can make, just putting Crosby with the 88 for a Cardinals, even if he's not on the fucking team. I love Max Crosby. I would love it if he came to the Cardinals. We do not need a wide receiver.
Yeah.
If we get Devontae Adams on our team, okay, great. Now we get to move Marvin Harrison to second. That puts Michael Wilson at third. Now we have Greg Dortch coming off the bench, which doesn't make any sense because Greg Dortch is incredible. I mean, every time the ball touches his hands, it's electrifying. No. We don't need a receiver. We need.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel as a Steelers fan right now. It's like obviously we could use a number 2 receiver. Like we have Van Jefferson getting too many catches right now. Calvin Austin is not a starting receiver. Like we don't really have a solidified second receiver. But with the offense that Arthur Smith runs, it's like we don't need one. We need running backs, a tight end, and one wide receiver, and Pickens is that. I think it would be good as Justin Fields gets better to get someone, like after watching the offense, be what it is. The offense is more pass-heavy than I was expecting coming into the year because Najee can't run the ball. Najee's not a good running back right now. No, so I wouldn't be upset if we brought him in. But I don't think we see Devontae Adams line up for the Raiders again. I think that's going to do some stuff to the Raiders locker room. Give me the Broncos by a boatload. It's 3 points right now, but that's easy lock.
Really?
You're missing your star offensive and defensive player. There's no chance I'm ever.
Gardner Minshew won last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Broncos.
Yeah. He's not a 2-win in a row
He's
guy.
A fucking. If he had lost last week, I'm taking the Raiders.
35.5.
That's too low.
Too low.
It feels way too low.
I would.
Where's the game?
The under in Denver.
It's starting to get cold in Denver.
Zamir White's out. It's all Alexander Madison back there. He works better as a complimentary back where you can have 2.
And it's a Boise State running back.
That is a Boise State guy. Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I was hoping he did great in Minnesota last year, but he was a dud. He's looked better on the Raiders than he did last year.
Yeah.
And Antonio Pierce came out and said that he needs more carries. And obviously with Zamir White being out, he's going to get them. He's going to get more touches. I hope that he does good, but that Broncos defense is pretty fucking good.
Pretty stat.
I would tend to take the under on this, but not confidently enough to bet it. Okay, next up, the closest thing to a lock as far as a money line bet that you can get this week. The New York Giants are heading into Seattle. Seattle's coming out as 7-point favorites against the Giants. Giants do not have Malik Neighbors playing this week.
Their best player by far.
That fucking square.
If we did money line,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like I'm down to write that in fucking now.
Do it
because there's not a shot that the Giants come in here and win.
Are they?
If they do,
are they at Lumen Field or are they?
They're in Seattle.
Yeah, they're
in Seattle.
Yeah.
Against the Malik Neighbors-less Giants. If that fucking loses,
what do we
have to do? What do we have to
write? We both have to type up a 1-page apology letter to Mike McDonald, abolishing him and his football team of all blame, stating that the only reason they lost that football game
was because we fucking bet on it
in that square. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Not just that we bet on it, we put it in that square.
I'll even go a step farther. If the Giants find a way to win this, I don't even like the Giants. I'll buy a Giants jersey and I'll wear it the entire next
Daniel
podcast.
Jones.
No.
Yeah.
No, because if I'm going to buy one, I'm going to make it for a decent player. I would buy a Malik Neighbors jersey.
That's not even fun. Buying a Malik Neighbors jersey is cool.
I don't like the Giants.
But it's Malik Neighbors.
I'm going to wear it one time on a podcast and never touch the jersey again. I'm spending $100 to show up for a podcast.
Meet me in the middle. Okay, I understand not doing Daniel Jones, but Malik Neighbors is too cool.
What do you want?
Too much swag. Give me...
Who's a good Giants player to make that bet with?
Give me...
Because it has to be something readily available.
Yeah.
That's the other problem.
Yeah.
We live in
Well, you can do
Idaho.
their-
We don't have a ton of availability for Giants jerseys. Like you probably have, if we were to go to the store right now, they probably have Daniel Jones, Malik Neighbors, and maybe like a Kayvon Thibodeau or a Brian Burns. Maybe.
That's our guy.
It's not even a guarantee that they have those jerseys. I would wager money with you right now that Jones and
Well, you
Neighbors
can
are the
order.
only two
You
that
can
they have.
order a Thibodeau. They probably don't have any Giants jerseys at
That's
like
fair.
the mall here. I think Thibodeau.
I would rather
still
go
a little.
Burns. Brian Burns.
You would go Burns over Thibodeau?
I love Brian Burns. He's a
Okay,
dog.
Cool. I'll
Okay.
take that for sure. I was
Okay.
gonna say Thibodeau's too cool.
I buy a
Cool.
Brian Burns jersey if the Giants come out here and win it. I would be very impressed. I do not think that it's a.
Does
I
not
think it's
seem
going to
feasible.
happen. I don't think I'm going to have to spend that money on that
Yeah.
Giants jersey.
Give me the Seahawks with the spread too, because I think they're gonna boat race the Giants.
Let's see. Where's the money sitting at this game? Fuck, that's a lot of the money that's going on Seattle. 86% of the money is on the Seahawks with the spread. Only 14% is with the Giants. I actually took the Giants to cover the spread last week against the Cowboys.
And they did.
I'm going to take the Giants to cover the spread again.
Okay.
I don't think that they win this game though. But
All right.
give me the Giants +7.
We're gonna take a quick break. Take a piss.
Come back in, talk about the last couple, and
Last couple, we'll do a player prop parlay. We will build the ladder parlay. We'll have Sam also for the second hour. We ran through those. That was good.
quick.
This
is going to be a little shorter because we have a couple teams on buys.
Yeah.
Buys week.
Lions are on a bye.
Yeah.
I don't know who else, but that's pretty
Lions,
notable.
Eagles,
Eagles.
and Chargers.
Chargers.
Don't know how I just ripped through
That's
it like that. That was,
Pretty
good for
fucking
me.
impressive.
Good for me.
dude.
That was-
All right. We'll be back on the other side.
Peace.
We are back with Shots and Ladders, your home for gambling, drinking, and degeneracy.
Welcome in, Sam.
Joining us for
Thank
the
you,
second
guys.
hour is our resident Colts fan out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, the young legend himself, Sam Ray Levitt.
Thank
Sam,
you.
we're happy you're here for. My chair is falling apart. We're happy you're here for the second hour. In the first hour, we went over most of the games that are going to be happening on Sunday. Almost every single game that's happening on Sunday. But we want to run through, Sam. You know what we really want? You know what we really want to do?
What do you want right now?
We want to hear
What
what
would
you
you like?
have to say about these games.
Oh,
We want to
what
hear
I
where
have to
your
say.
head's at. Me and Connor can
Okay.
give our 2 cents. We can go through and talk about every single game. And, we're pretty good, but there's nothing like the way Sammy puts it down. So
I
we're going to start
appreciate
off with the
that.
first. Yeah, of course, man. Of course. First game of the week in London. We have New York Jets against the Minnesota Vikings. 8:30 a.m. kickoff for us. I think 8:30 or 7:30 Mountain
I
Time.
think 7:30.
7:30 Mountain Time.
Vikings are coming in as 2.5-point favorites.
Okay. Interesting. The London game right off the bat too. Okay. The Vikings have looked unstoppable. Jets are coming off tough week against the Broncos. They put up 9 points. Part of me wants to say that Aaron Rodgers was going to come back hot, but I don't know. I feel like it's hard to bet against the Vikings right now. I will take the Vikings to cover 2.5 in London.
Love it.
The Jets might be jet lagged. That's what we're going to say.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, next up, you got the Denver Broncos going into Washington to play the Commanders. Commanders are coming in as 3.5-point favorites.
Let's see. Broncos Manders. Give me.
Not Broncos.
Oh,
Is it Broncos?
Broncos Raiders. It's Broncos
No, it's
Raiders.
Broncos
and
going
Manders
into
Browns.
Commanders.
That's the Browns going into the Commanders.
Wow, I can't read my own handwriting. Jesus Christ.
That's all good.
I
That's all
don't
good.
blame you because
Fuck.
that looks like shit.
I have really bad
Oh,
handwriting.
okay.
My bad. So Browns are going into Washington to play the Commanders. Commanders are 3.5-point favorites.
Okay. All right. Shout out our friend Trigonometry Trey. I took the Browns last week. I don't think I can do it again. I'll take the hot hand again. Give me the Commanders. The Browns are getting Nick Chubb back, which I love. I love to see that. I don't know how similar he's going to look to where he was at pre-injury, and I also don't know what his touches are going to look like either. I I feel like he's probably pretty limited, and that offense doesn't quite get going yet. And the Commanders have just looked awesome. So
As of right
those
now,
guys.
it doesn't even sound 100% like he's going to play. And if he does, I think they said that he's going to be on a snap count.
Yeah.
It's still going to be the Jerome Ford show, at least for one more week.
That's what I would think.
I mean,
Yeah,
you guys are 100% matched up so far, and I'm
Oh yeah,
crazy
me and
on
Sammy
both,
think
so.
the same.
I was
Okay.
gonna say that's another thing I like. Kind of going in blind a little bit. I don't know what you guys picked yet, so there's no bias here or anything. I like it.
Okay, so next one, Ravens going into Cincinnati. Ravens are coming in as 2.5-point favorites after demolishing the Bills last week.
Ooh. Okay. That's a tough one. I just hope it's a good game. I hope that one's a really good game. Again, I think the Ravens are probably going to cause problems for the Bengals. I'll be honest. Their defense has struggled a little bit more than you might think they would, and Derrick Henry's looked great. I think they've kind of got a good mix here of run and pass for them. They're not quite as predictable, and now the run's working. I don't know. Give me the Ravens here. I'll go Ravens. What's the spread again? 2.5 favorites, you said?
2.5.
Yeah, give me the Ravens. Let me get the Ravens.
Okay.
Ravens look good.
Next up, the other really good game that I'm excited to watch, Bills and Texans.
Bills, Texans.
In Houston.
Bills, Texans.
Texans are a 1-point favorite.
1-point favorite.
Texans are 1-point favorite against the Bills.
Pretty much a pick 'em.
Pretty much a pick 'em. Well, we are going to pick the Bills. We are going to take the Bills winning in Houston, the road game. Kind of saw the first bit of weakness from the Bills. The Ravens looked really, really good, and that was kind of the first struggle that they'd seen. The Texans have also kind of been struggling. I don't feel quite as good about them right now. I think they're missing Mixon still as well.
They are.
Yeah, give me the Bills here. I think it'll be a good game, though. I bet Stroud and Allen have a shootout.
Now, Sam, do you recall me and Connor making a slap bet on who wins the Bills-Ravens game?
I can't say I do. I do remember that. That's right, because you would be sleeping on the couch if you didn't take that bet, and we wanted to see one happen right then and there. So
yeah,
I do recall that. I do.
Yeah, I took the Ravens. Connor took the Bills.
Oh, perfect. Love
so
that.
How did that end up? What was the result of that slap bet?
I haven't done the slap bet. So the only bet that I remembered coming into it, because we need to be better about writing down slap bets so we can look back on them. The only bet that I remember is actually one that I lost to you, Sam.
I remember this one.
Yeah, we bet on the Steelers-Colts, and it was a shot and a dizzy bat.
That's right.
A shot and a dizzy bat.
I've never done a dizzy bat before.
You've never done a dizzy bat?
I've never done a dizzy
oh
bat.
Oh my god!
You've got a great coach right here. This guy was all MLB, all MLB dizzy batter.
Are you talking about you or me?
No, you. Sorry, my hand's down here.
I've done so many dizzy.
We used to hit those things over the roof, man. We used to. The infield was in the backyard, and we were hopping the fence and going to the front yards to grab those cans afterwards. So you've got a good instructor here.
We would do dizzy bats with a fucking plastic lightsaber.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely nuke the can.
The lightsaber blade won't come out of the handle anymore because we beat it up too bad.
Yeah,
and then
what I was thinking for this, and you guys have a different way you want to do this, I'm fine with it. But since we still need to calculate the slap bets, because I felt like there was more than just that one.
We did 3 total slap bets.
I don't remember what the other ones were.
I don't either.
So what I'm thinking, we go through, we figure out what they were, and then Sunday, before the game start, or after the London game, before the regular game kicks off, I'll be over here watching the games. We go out in the backyard. I'll do the dizzy bet. We'll do any slaps that it sounds like are coming my way because I had a not great week last week.
Yeah.
And we can record it. We can post that on
Twitter.
TikTok, post it on
TikTok.
our Twitter.
Yeah.
Maybe a little YouTube
Instagram,
short. Unless you guys have a different way to do it. I was thinking Sunday before the games.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I like that. I like that for all slap bets just being not on the show, but actually posted on TikTok.
I do too. I do too. Okay. So
I agree.
Okay.
I can let you off the hook on one of those slap bets, Connor. One of the slap bets we made was when I put Bengals Panthers in that second slot there, the first leg of the parlay, It was a one-way slap bet. I said if the Bengals lose that game, then I will personally drive to Boise and you each get a free slap. So that one's off the
I do
table
remember
for
that.
you. You're good there.
Because we were rooting for it, not even for the slap, just to be able to see your beautiful face over
just to
here.
see
That's
you
what we were
course.
rooting for more than
Of course,
anything
and
else.
just
That's
slap
it.
it while I happen to be there, but of course.
Yeah, and that one lost. Damn.
Okay, we'll go through and check the rest, and we'll do them. Okay, so you're taking Bills. That's the first one that all three of us are aligned with. I
Okay.
feel like that's
Okay.
going to have to end up on the board. If
Yeah.
all three of us are in. Yeah. Okay, next one. Speaking of the Panthers, you got the Carolina Panthers going into Chicago. Bears are coming out as 4-point favorites.
4-point favorites, huh?
The Bears,
Ooh.
dude. Sorry, Clay.
Bears. And I don't know what you guys picked. Do we have any news on if Andy Dalton or Bryce Young is starting this game?
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton is
Andy
starting
Dalton's
for
starting.
the very, very, very foreseeable future. I'll
Yeah.
give you this: Colson and I are not agreed upon on which
We
way
got
we're
some
going
split
on this game.
decisions. Okay.
We
Okay.
do.
I don't know if there's a whole lot to say about the two teams right now. I do think that Caleb Williams has kind of looked better and better every week, and that's a positive. Rome should be a lot healthier at this point, and Keenan Allen should be back as well, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to take the Bears to win the game, but I am going to take the Panthers to cover. That's my decision. I think it'll end up being pretty close.
Well
Okay.
done.
I like it. I like it. Next up, I would wager a shot bet right now that I could guess where you're going to pick on this game, because we have the Indianapolis Colts going into Jacksonville as 3-point underdogs to the Jaguars.
Okay. Now,
Obviously, we talked
a
about the
little.
win streak. We know the win streak's there. We know the Colts are missing Jonathan Taylor. Colts have a lot
That's
of
right.
stuff stacked against them. But what does the
That's
resident
right.
Colts fan say about a 3-point underdog against an 0-4, the only winless team in the NFL right now, Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh, I hate that you said that. The only winless team in the NFL. That
They
could
are.
hurt.
They're the very
They
last
are.
winless team in the NFL.
Well, this is a matchup that has plagued me for almost half my life now. Almost half my life. Not quite, but I was a mere child the last time that I saw us beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville, in Duval.
Trevor Bank.
Man, it's just a hell match every year. No matter like what state our team is in at the time going into that match, whether we're like at this point in the season, it's kind of back and forth. You don't know whether we're off to like our usual terrible slow start, we're 0-3, or whether we come out hot and we start with 3 wins and then play these guys, or look really good week 1 and get them week 2. We look like it's not just that we lose; like we look terrible every time we play these guys away. The run game stops working. Jonathan Taylor will have had 100+ yards the last 3 weeks, and then he's getting tackled in the backfield every time we play these guys.
I don't think he's playing.
And he's not even playing as well. He's not playing. Trey Sermon's going to be starting. AR is still questionable as well. I've seen a lot of Colts fan discourse on Twitter as well, back and forth about.
So elaborate on that as a Colts fan. So watching the game last week, you guys looked like you only won that game because Joe Flacco started. I think if Anthony Richardson played that whole game,
he didn't start.
No, because when he came in and took over, I don't think you guys would have won that game if Anthony Richardson had started. Tell me how you feel, because Joe Flacco looks like the better quarterback right now. That's what he did for the Browns last year. I don't think that there's any way that he starts for the whole season over Richardson. But who do you think gives you guys the better chance to win an NFL game?
I think a lot of people, especially people that don't watch the games, would tell you that Joe Flacco, just face value, gives you a better chance to win right now. Not to say that AR can't end up better than him, but that could be the opinion you hear a lot. I think that he's catching a lot of hate after last week. They kind of look at Flacco's stats and just assume that he took over the game after, but Richardson was passing 70% against the Steelers defense, who's a very, very good defense, before he went out. He led a quick touchdown drive, first drive of the game, which is something the Colts have struggled with, their first drive, and he looked really good. He was getting Pittman involved this week. He set them up in a scoring position right before he got hurt. They went in, just punched it in for him after, and that's one of the touchdowns that Flacco's credited with. And then after that, our defense ended up doing a lot. Another one of Flacco's touchdowns, our defense gave him the ball on the 35-yard line. So I think a lot of people are really heavy on the that was a really unfortunate one. That was an unfortunate one. I don't even know what I was looking at watching that back. I couldn't even tell if he lost the ball or not. It was weird, but the defense set him up there. I think that he's getting a lot more credit. Not to say that he didn't play well. Not to say that he didn't play well at all, but I think he gets a lot more credit, and Anthony Richardson put us in really good spots in that game and looked probably the best he's looked all season at that point. I think the only reason that we start Flacco this week is merely to give him more time to heal up if he's not in a position where he feels comfortable playing and they feel comfortable playing him as well.
When you have a backup of that magnitude, if your starting quarterback who's supposed to be your franchise quarterback isn't 100%, and you know your backup can do 80% as well,
right?
If not
like floor basically
as well. Yeah, Flacco can go out and win you a ball game, especially
we saw it a lot last year. We saw it a lot last year.
Yeah, you're playing a Jaguars team that's 0-4. It's like, why do we try Anthony Richardson out there when he's 90% when we have 100% Joe Flacco who can do maybe, I think it's an undersell, but 80% as well as he can. And if you guys are leaning on the defense like you're saying, like there's no point to not just put Joe Flacco out. It's the way I see it. If I was the head coach.
They've played a lot better. Another big topic on Colts Twitter is Chris Ballard, the GM. He's pretty passive in the offseason, and it pisses a lot of people off. It's pissed me off in the past. Like, I'd be lying if I said that it hadn't. But he's a very, very good drafter and then a developer as well. Once he drafts those guys, he wants to develop them, and that's how he likes to run his team. And so everyone's yelling at him on Twitter, telling him, man, why didn't you trade for this guy? This guy's available. This guy's available. We've got all this capital that we can pay these guys with. But he truly likes he says it a lot. He says, we like the guys we have, and people kind of meme it. But that's the truth with him. Jalen Jones, 7th-round pick, got a decent amount of playing time last year and really struggled, and he's looked like a whole new player this year. He's playing against some pretty good wide receiver ones so far and coming away with interceptions and some good forced incompletions and things like that. So I lost my train of thought. I lost where I was going with it. But
are you picking the Colts or the Jags?
Colts. Let's cut to the chase here. Let's cut to the chase here.
Cut to the chase, Spamuel.
If I were telling the bettors, I would tell them to take the Jaguars, but it's not in my blood. We are taking the Colts. We're snapping the streak this year. I don't care who starts. I don't care if Trey Sermon has to run for 200 yards or Joe Flacco has to throw for 350. We will break the streak this year. I will be a happy man. And if you take that bet, you can thank me. Or you can attack me on Twitter in the DMs. That too.
Hate to tell you, Colton and I both took Jaguars -3 on that one. So
I have told every single one of my friends to take the Jags. I just can't do it myself. It's illegal.
That's fair. Okay, next one. To end off the 11 a.m. slates here. Ugly game. Ugly game. You got the Miami Dolphins going into New England. Pretty much a coin flip. Dolphins are favored by a point.
AFC East matchup.
I'm going to say I'm going to pray that Tyler Huntley looks a little bit better this week because I expected a lot of him last week. I really did. It still is a really complex offense. It's his first week there. He's been there a week and a half, just met all of his teammates. I'm sure the chemistry isn't fully there yet, but now you've had a game. Now you've had another week of practice, and he's getting more comfortable. The Patriots have one of the worst rosters in the league, and if that offense on the Dolphins can gel just a little bit, then they should have enough to do it, especially with a 1-point spread. So I'll go the Dolphins.
I'm going
to put my faith in Huntley again. We'll see if it bites me twice.
Tyler.
I love it.
Come on, Tyler.
So that's another one. All three of us are agreed upon. One of the things we talked about earlier is week 1, our first episode of the podcast. I made a bold prediction that Drake May would be the starter by week 5. This is week 5. He's not the starter yet. I fully expect him to take over for Brissett by about halftime to take over for the Patriots offense because Jacoby has just looked that not good.
Yeah,
I like that.
We're all heavy rooting for the Dolphins here. On a personal note, I'm also heavy rooting for Drake May to come in.
So, I like that a lot. I've been excited to watch him, and it's been sad that we haven't gotten to see him yet. And I think pretty highly of Brissett as far as like kind of a backup can go. I think he's a top level backup, and he's been around some really good QBs and coaches and stuff. It's like it's a good mentor type of bridge quarterback. But I am ready to see a little bit of Drake May. I'd like to see that. So
let's get it. Okay, moving on to the 2:00 slate. We got the Cardinals going into San Fran.
Division game
is coming out. Division game. San
NFC
Fran is
West
coming out
matchup.
as 7.5-point underdogs, and this is one of the ones that I would actually like to. I would like to amend. I took the Niners
Really?
minus 7.5 when we were talking earlier. The more I've stared at it, that's the one pick that I haven't felt great about. I'm actually going to amend my pick, and I'm going to move over to the Cardinals plus 7.5. But I want to hear what you have to say on this.
I fucking hate that. I hate that. But anyways, go ahead, Sam.
7.5.
7.5, a little hook. I'm a sucker for a hook.
Oh, I got to try hard to try and set some bias aside here because I like the Cardinals a lot. I just do not like the 49ers. I like Kyler, I like Marvin. It's a tough matchup, and the Cardinals struggled a little bit against the Commanders. I didn't really expect that.
A little bit is an understatement.
Yeah, a little bit might be an understatement. I might have sugarcoated it. I just kind of expected a much closer game, a much kind of high-scoring back and forth, and their offense just kind of struggled. Defense definitely didn't help them out yet again. The defense has kind of been struggling. Oh, there's a lot of weapons on the Niners, and that defense has struggled. I came into this wanting to take the Cardinals, and I'm talking myself out of them right now.
You're waffling.
But 7.5. But 7.5 is a big spread, though, and I hate that. And I hate the and a half as well. I don't like that.
Yeah, hook.
Yeah,
and a half plus it being a division game is what swayed me to move my bet to the Cardinals because division games always go close, and NFL games always tend to be close, and the 7.5-point spread is just a nasty line.
Right. Yeah, that is a nasty one.
Because would any of us be shocked if this game ended 31-24, Niners win it, but the Cardinals cover the spread? No, it seems like that. That's my score prediction: 31-20.
31-24. You're thinking?
31-24.
24. I like that. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Cardinals are back for blood. Rough week last week. They got that division game out for blood as well. They don't want to lose that game.
Come out.
That new Call of Duty just came out. Kyler does not want overtime. He wants to win. Get out of there as quick as he can. Get back to the house. Get on. Get a couple levels in. Get a couple skins. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals to keep it close. And I pray they win. And I pray they win. I would love it.
Thank you, Samuel.
Let's do it. All right. Next one. We have the Las Vegas Raiders going into Denver. Denver coming in as 3-point favorites. Raiders will not have Devontae Adams and most likely will not have Max Crosby playing as well.
And the Broncos are playing against the Raiders and a curse of their own, much like the Colts Jags. I don't know exactly how many years it's been for them, but it's been a while. Do you guys know what their loss streak is to the Raiders or just Raiders in general? It's not even home or away. They just haven't beat the Raiders for a while, have they?
2018, I think.
2018.
Let me look it up real quick here.
I think since Peyton Manning left, I don't think the Broncos have beat the Raiders.
Okay.
That might be the Chiefs, actually. I could be wrong.
Let's see here.
Could be both.
So, Denver has not won since 2019.
Fuck, I was 1 year
December
off.
29th, 2019 was the last time that the Broncos beat the Raiders.
Christmas time, huh? 2019. Yeah. What a storyline it would be for the young rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, to come in and break the streak his first year. Wouldn't they love it? Wouldn't the fans love it? And
they would love it. Tyson would love it.
Tyson would love it.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to say that Surtain, I have a really hard time with corners. There's so many good corners, but Surtain is undoubtedly top 3, or maybe even just top 2 for sure.
Probably
so good.
Surtain.
So good, and we've seen some really, really good matchups in the past with him and Devontae Adams, where he's covered Devontae Adams really well. Devontae Adams has gotten loose. Now you talk about no Devontae Adams. You talk about Pat Surtain on Jacoby Myers, and then who are they throwing the ball to after that? I just don't see it going well. I don't see it going well. I have Zamir White in fantasy. I watched your tape
He's out.
last year, Zamir.
Zamir White is also not playing.
Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
Still,
What's the spread? What's the spread?
3 points. Raiders are 3-point underdogs.
Give me the Raiders.
No Zamir White, no Max Crosby, no Devontae Adams. He takes the Raiders.
Why are we taking the Raiders here?
Because Zamir White is not playing. Give me the Raiders. It's a curse, and no Zamir White. Give me the Raiders.
I love it.
I don't know how it's going to happen. I have no clue how it's going to happen. But
Alexander Madison's going to have to run his fucking
Boise
ass
State.
off, and that is a Boise State
Okay.
player.
All right.
That's a
next
Boise
one.
State player.
Alexander Madison.
So next one here. This is the one that we've already locked in as leg one of our parlay because it has to hit. This is the only guarantee in my mind of this entire NFL week. Seahawks are 7-point favorites against the Giants in Seattle, and the Giants do not have Malik Neighbors. We didn't fuck around with the points because we need to win that square. We're taking Seahawks money
we
line.
need to fucking destroy that square.
Yeah,
I forgot you did go money line and not spread. I already feel much better. Yeah, no, I'm
Yep.
all over that.
There's no way it doesn't lose. But how are you feeling with the 7-point spread coming into this?
I'm all over the Seahawks money line, and for the sake of the money line, for the sake of the parlay and the first leg hitting this week, give me the Seahawks to cover the spread. Let's make it not even close. Let's see a 21-point win for the Seahawks here. They run that entire offense through Malik Neighbors. It is incredible how that guy is just open so often. Yeah, I think I said it last week. Dude is just running nothing but like fades and posts. His whole like college tape. He can run every single route. If there was any doubts about that coming into the league, there is not anymore. He gets open on everything. He takes the number one DB off the other receivers a lot of the game, and he still gets open. I think that is a huge loss to the Giants. I don't think they have the weapons to keep up, and I think Seattle's defense has looked pretty good besides the last week against the Lions. So that's also a high-powered offense. So let's go Seahawks spread. Let's take that one.
I love it.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Moving on to the next game. So that's as far as we'd got before you showed up. Those last three we can all talk about. We can all chat about. We got one more of the afternoon slate here. It's a game I'm excited for. Packers going into Los Angeles and facing the Rams. Packers are 3-point favorites going against the Rams.
Oh.
Rams had a tough loss last week. Packers, if I remember right, had a tough loss last week.
Yeah, against the Vikings.
Both of them coming in for a little bit of revenge. Jordan Love hopefully feeling a little bit better.
He still had an amazing game, even though they
still
lost.
Had an amazing game, yes.
31-point-something fantasy points.
Let's see here.
What are you thinking, Sam?
You know, I actually almost want to chalk up last week. Packers-Vikings, that's a division game. It's crazy. I think they just came out really, really slow. Jordan Love might have had a little bit of rust, taking those weeks off. Wasn't sure how the knee was doing, maybe, and they might have started off a little bit passive, a little slow, and then they had no problem putting the ball in the end zone at the end of the game. I think that they're going to carry over some of that offensive momentum and look to put more points up again. I think Jordan Love's going to look a lot better this week from the start. Kind of look closer to how he looked towards the end of the game. I really could see it being a close game, so the spread kind of scares me a little bit. 3 points, like I could see that being a 1-2 point game. I'm gonna go.
Say,
what do you got?
Make your pick,
what do you got?
I love what you're saying. I love your take. Jordan Love carries over. Second half Jordan Love last week carries over to the full game this week. Give me the Packers with the spread. Packers win by probably 14 or more.
Okay.
Give me the Packers.
Let me look at I actually missed the Rams game last week. They lost by 6 to the Bears. Okay.
Lost to 6 to the Bears, yep. Matt Stafford could not build a drive to end the game. They had a shot. They had to go down and get a touchdown, and they couldn't do it.
Again,
still missing
Bears.
Yeah, still missing Cooper Kupp, still missing Puka. For all of the same reasons you guys said there, I'm also taking the Packers -3. They looked so good. They almost made an insane comeback against the Vikings last week. The Vikings were up by an absurd amount of points. And for some reason, when Jordan Love and the Packers offense has the ball, something feels good about it.
Yeah.
I was never the biggest Jordan Love believer. I was never the biggest believer in the Packers as general. But the more I watch this team, the more excited I am to watch this team. And I'm a big Rams fan. I took them last week. But I think this week is the Packers' week.
Okay. I'm glad that you guys both went, and I actually got a little more time to think about that because that was a really, really tough one for me at first.
We got you, brother.
Yeah, the way, I don't know. I just feel like the Bears are still kind of in a figuring it out phase. And for them to take a close win against the Rams, I remember what you said last week, and I kind of thought that they were going to get out coached by the Rams, and that was what it was going to come down to. And Stafford versus Caleb Williams. I think that they have it much more figured out in Green Bay right now. I think that team's kind of firing on all cylinders as soon as they have stability at quarterback. And so if Love, it looks the way he looked at the end of the game last game, plays that way throughout the game, yeah, I could see the Packers winning by more than 10. So I'm glad I got to think about that. I'll definitely take Packers with the spread there.
Okay,
Let's do it.
easy money. Next up, Sunday Night Football.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers at home facing the Dallas Cowgirls. Pittsburgh is coming in as 3-point favorites
Against the
versus
Cowboys.
a Cowboys team
Jeez.
with a defense that does not have a star Broncos player in DeMarcus Lawrence. He's not playing. Does not have in consideration to be one of the top defenders in the entire NFL. Micah Parsons also not playing.
Both their
What do
edges,
you guys
that's
think?
right.
Let me think here for a
Because the
sec.
goddamn Pittsburgh Steelers
Let me
are going
think
to
here for
run
a
the ball
sec.
against this Cowboys team. Bold prediction. Old man Najee Harris, who looks like a terrible NFL running back,
He's not old. He's been in the league for 3 years.
he runs like he's old.
Right.
The dude runs like he's 53 years old.
Yeah,
he's
I
he's not a
agree
good
with
running back. I don't want him on my team past this year. This is going to be one of his best weeks of the NFL season. He is going to go over 100 yards against this Cowboys team.
that. Wow, for the first time in his career.
Double it up. Justin Fields is also going to run for 100 yards against this
Wow.
Cowboys team. And the Steelers
That's pretty convincing.
handedly win this game.
You know what? That is convincing.
You're going to take the Cowboys plus
Yeah,
3.
give me the Cowboys.
Saw that come from a mile away.
Give me the Cowboys.
I don't know. The Steelers looked like they were figuring stuff out last week.
Dude,
Their
no, I'm
offense
not gonna.
looked so
I'm not
good.
gonna pick the Cowboys
Towards the end.
Yeah.
So the Colts had the game won in the first half there, but Sam, as
Until
a Colts fan,
old man
I know you
Flacco
had to be
came in.
shitting
I'm
your
telling
pants
you,
by
it
the end
wasn't
of
as
that
good
game.
as we thought. Colts fans, it wasn't as good as we thought. I'm telling you, Flacco was losing the game. They were playing it too safe.
I don't think it was Flacco. I think it was your defense was losing the game, and
Goose Bradley.
I hate Gus Bradley. Fuck
Whoa,
you.
hey,
He's a nice guy.
Fuck your
He's a
defensive
nice
coordinator.
guy.
Your defense sucks. You
I won't
hosed in
go as
check for
far
the
as
first
to
little
say.
bit, but you had to be
I-
shitting your pants by the fourth quarter there.
No, I felt really good. TJ Watt was a traffic cone out there. I came into this. I really, really wanted to take the Steelers. I'm so serious. I'm so honest. Despite what I just said, all jokes, of course. TJ Watt, one of the best edges in the league. This is actually really tough for me. I think I would go Cowboys, but missing both of your starting edges, who are also just crazy, crazy good edges, it makes it tough.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence's interior.
Because that's the biggest
Is he?
weak point of the Steelers' offense right now is our offensive line. Our tackle play has not been good. We're dealing with injuries on there. A team that has 2 dominant edge rushers, I would be very, very concerned about taking the Steelers -3 if either Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence
Is
are playing.
DeMarcus edge? I thought DeMarcus Lawrence was interior.
No, they both play edge.
Oh, my bad.
He's more of a
Sorry, Sam.
You're
defensive
good.
end
My bad.
edge. Parsons is more of an outside linebacker
Right.
edge because they kind of
Yeah.
run like an off 3-4 where the defensive end on the 3 over here is an edge, but over here is an interior, and then Parsons
That makes
is edge
sense.
over here.
Okay.
They both play edge, but both of them being out, I'm pretty confident that the Steelers are going to win this game.
I love your confidence. I'm going to stay on the Cowboys.
Stay on the Cowboys. Okay, Sam?
This is the least confidence I've had in any game the entire night. I mean that. This is like really, really hard. I just
I'm telling you,
think
Vegas has figured out their lines. These lines this week, I haven't
Yeah.
felt
Kidding,
great
dude.
about. I haven't felt great about many of these lines.
no kidding. Connor, I want to take the Steelers so bad, and everything else inside me is screaming to take the Cowboys. I'm gonna stay away gonna stay away from the choice from the heart. I'm gonna go with the brain today. I don't know what it is. It's telling me to take the Cowboys. I'm gonna go Cowboys
Okay.
here. Even
Let's
if the
go.
Steelers come away with the win, I would be very happy for you if they did. I just don't like the
Ooh.
spread either. I don't like the spread.
And that's the thing. Most Steelers games are won by one possession. It's usually
Yep.
a 2-point to a 4-point win. The Steelers never blow anybody out, and we very rarely get blown out. So it's hard to take the Steelers minus the spread. I've been saying this for the last couple weeks. I don't like playing when we're the favorites. The Steelers play
Yeah.
better football when we're the underdogs. So I'm
I feel the
hoping
same
that
for
you
the
guys
Colts. I
being
know what
against
you
the
mean.
Steelers makes it easier for the Steelers to win this game.
I hope so too.
Over
I
under,
really do.
Over under 44.
I'm gonna
Both
take
with
the.
the way
I would
the-
take the over on that.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Despite the Steelers having a great offense, the Cowboys' offense has not looked terrible, and the Steelers' offense is looking pretty good. Honestly, the
Mhm.
over at 44, it's kind of whispering some sweet nothings to me over here.
Whispering sweet nothing.
Yeah.
It's
dude.
whispering some.
I don't know
sweet
how I
nothings.
keep breaking fucking chairs, and it's pissing me off.
Hey, we've been
That's
doing
a
it for
Taco
years, man.
Bell.
Jeez. Oh, back in Vegas. Yeah.
Back in Vegas.
Good times.
Okay.
Good times.
Okay, and then last but not least, boys, last game of the slate here, Monday
Monday
Night
night.
Football. The New Orleans Saints going into a Rashi Rice-less Kansas City Chiefs stadium.
The Kansas City Chiefs are playing in prime time.
On Monday night. They've played
What?
primetime, 3 games in a row now? Or 3 games out of the 5 now? They're playing a lot. No Rashi Rice, though. Still no Isaiah Pacheco. The Chiefs are down a lot of key players and still coming into this game against the Saints as 5.5-point favorites.
I haven't bet against the Chiefs all year. I've won money off the Chiefs all year. The Chiefs is the Chiefs.
The refs
That
is the
is-
refs.
The refs is the refs. 5.5 points is too many. Give me the Saints. Put me down for the Saints. Excited to watch that game on Monday night. Should be a barn burner.
Sam?
Skip the analysis here. Give me the Saints to win the football game. I want the Saints to win the goddamn football game. They've gotten away with it for too long. No Rashee Rice. God won't let the refs keep doing this, man. It's one way or another. They're losing this football game. It's
Are they
time.
in New Orleans?
No, they're in Kansas City.
Hey, Taylor Swift's going to be there, brother. We're not even going to be able to watch the game.
They're gonna show her like 20 times.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs minus 5.5 just
That's
because
you're a Swiftie.
I'm a huge Swiftie and I'm a huge Chiefs fan. As much as I don't like to be,
You're
when
a
I'm
Chiefs
gambling, I'm a huge Chiefs fan. I have
In
won
Kansas City as
many,
well. I don't hate you for
many
it at
dollars.
all. I don't hate you for it at all.
I wouldn't feel confident to throw this game up here with either spread. I would feel fairly
I'm with
confident
ya.
to put it on with a Chiefs money line though, because I think that the Chiefs win this game. I don't like that spread though. Do not like the spread. 5.5's a lot, but I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose to Derek Carr. Derek Carr has played against the Chiefs
Derek
too many
Carr's
times.
great.
The Chiefs know how Derek Carr plays.
Yeah, he wasn't in Vegas. Well, Oakland
Up until
at the
last
time,
year.
forever.
So,
Fair enough.
The Raiders and
sense.
Andy Reid know how to deal against Derek Carr. I don't think that they win this game. I don't love the spread though. Over under 43.5 for two offenses that are both not too bad. It kind of seems a little
I
low.
like the over.
I love the over on that game.
Yeah.
Over might make it in one.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I was like, I'm high on that over.
Yeah.
All right. That concludes our picks against the spread for Sunday and Monday. We're going to hop into a segment where money's been made, where things have been happening.
The only bets that are winning.
The only bets that are winning for us, mainly for you. Sam, I don't know if you're following C Easy Bets on Twitter, but if you're not, if anybody's not, you should get C_easy with a Z _bets a follow on Twitter, because Connor's posting
Over the last 2 weeks, we are up on $100 bets. Like $2,700,
$2,700.
$2,600.
For the loyal viewers, could you hand out that handle one more time? Maybe they didn't hear you the first time.
Yeah,
At-
here, let me
At capital C _easy with a Z. not an S.
EAZY underscore bets.
Underscore
It's a
bets.
great photo of me at Colson's wedding, actually.
That is a great
Yep.
photo, and if you don't follow along, then you hate making money. Did you know that? That's crazy.
You
Did you
do.
know
You
That's
do.
unreal.
It's hitting better than any other bets right now. Name
Yeah.
another account, another podcast, another anything that has 2 for 4, 10 leg plus $1,500
Parlay.
odd
Nobody.
bets. No one. No
Yeah.
one's hit 2 for 4.
It's a fucking cheat code, dude. And you're doing it Mondays. You're doing it Thursdays. You're killing it.
And we're
Let's
gonna
hear.
start sprinkling it on Sundays.
Yeah.
We did one last Sunday.
We
and
just
the-
didn't tweet it.
We didn't tweet it,
Yeah.
but if I remember correct, I think the only one that lost that was the Aaron Jones anytime touchdown.
Aaron
think
Jones
we went-
anytime
yeah,
touchdown.
We
was
had
the only one that didn't hit.
9 of the 10 legs hit. Aaron Jones could not get in the end zone against his old
He
team,
had
the
a
Green Bay
great
Packers.
game too. He did everything
great
but
game.
get in the
You
end
would
zone.
think
It was
that was not-
unbelievable.
And they had him in the goal line scenario so many times. He got it down to the 1 yard line twice, and both times someone else scored. It killed me a little bit on the inside, which hurt.
That's a tough
Wasn't
one.
a fan of that. I was a little bit upset with Aaron Jones, but this week I'll guarantee you that it's going to hit. So what we're looking at, first line, we got Jordan Addison of the Vikings, over 25.5 receiving yards. Vikings offense is going to have to run through him and Aaron Jones. Justin Jefferson is going to be against Sauce Gardner the entire game. I think that Jordan Addison's going to have a game. Second leg, Jerry Jeudy, under 60.5 receiving yards. Jerry Jeudy, dog water. Deshaun Watson, dog water. There's no reason he should go for 61 yards. Third leg,
Would be a
Andre
big game.
Yoshivas, the Bengals stud of a third receiver. This feels like an absolute lock. Over 5.5 receiving yards.
Oh yeah.
Sam,
yeah.
tell me a world where Andre Yoshivas does not get 6 receiving yards in a high-scoring matchup against the Ravens. It doesn't happen.
I see him getting 3 catches, bare minimum, and if he's not getting 5 yards on 3 catches, I don't know. I for sure that happens.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Bro, I
shot
would
if that
bet
doesn't
Andre
happen.
Yosevach has a catch for at least 15 yards on the first Bengals drive of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
He's
this
a
guy-
stud. When he
yeah.
gets the ball in his hands, he's
He's
nasty with it. There's
unbelievable.
no way that leg does not hit.
Yeah.
Fourth leg, DJ Moore in a revenge game against the team that drafted him and then traded him away so that they could take Bryce Young. DJ Moore over 35.5 receiving yards against a very not great Carolina Panthers defense. Next up, we got Jacoby Myers, under 55.5 receiving yards,
Okay.
playing against Patrick Surtain, who, in my eyes, is the best cornerback in the NFL right now. It's him, it's Sauce, it's Jalen Ramsey. It's those top 3. And Jalen's more of a corner guy. PS2 is a lockdown man-to-man corner that's traveling with the number 1s. Jacoby Myers is not going to get 56 yards.
Right.
Next up, the New York Giants are without Malik Neighbors. Who are they going to throw the ball to?
Wandale
Hyatt.
Robinson.
So Wandale's going to be the number 1. But you want to talk
He is
about a
also
guaranteed
questionable
lock?
too.
And
Jalen Hyatt, over 10.5 receiving yards.
and
That's 1 catch for him. He's a speedster.
Who's the corner for the Seahawks that's going to be on Wandale for most of the game? It's,
Weatherspoon?
Weatherspoon.
Kellen
yeah.
Witherspoon. And
Kellen?
they have Tariq
Devin?
Woolen. Or they're
Devon?
Devin Witherspoon.
Devon
Oh,
Witherspoon.
Kellen Witherspoon's a...
See, I was thinking
That's an
Reese
old
Witherspoon,
school.
who's an actress.
Yeah, Akella Witherspoon's an older corner. I don't know if he's still in the league anymore. But, yeah. It'll be against one of them. So, Jalen Hyatt, over 10.5 receiving yards.
Seems like
That's
a
1 catch.
easy.
That's
yeah.
1 catch. Next leg, Jake Ferguson, under 61 receiving yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers get burned a lot by running backs and get burned a lot by receivers. We don't usually allow a lot of tight ends to do great things against us. Jake Ferguson is not going to get 61 yards. Then we got Cam Akers of the Houston Texans going into Buffalo. Cam Akers isn't that good. He is not going to get over 55.5 rushing yards. So Cam Akers under 55.5.
Like that.
Okay.
Next leg, Sammy, you're not going to love this one. Trey
Uh-oh.
Sermon is going to go
Uh-oh.
under 65.5 rushing yards. I think he could
65
be
is a lot.
I think he could be a
65 's
decent
ton.
running back, but the Jaguars have not been allowing a lot of big-time running backs. So James Cook, who's a very above-average running back in the NFL, when they had their big game, we can remember that was one of the last legs that was sweating on my first bet that hit 2 weeks ago. and it took a James Cook 22. Oh no, that was ETN. James Cook had the receiving yards.
Yeah.
But they haven't been allowing a ton of big rushing games. It's going to continue against a backup for the Colts.
He's
with an offense
he's
that is
also
gonna
playing against
hopefully-
that defensive line and the curse as well. On top of that, he is cursed this
Yep.
week.
There's a lot of things that are going against him. So Trey Sermon under 65.5 rushing yards. And then the last leg, James Conner. So the Cardinals and Niners, I think, is going to be a high shootout game. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think there's going to be a lot of passing yards. So James Conner is going to go under 75.5.
That's a lot of yards.
That's a lot of yards to have to get. Plus 2,217 odds. Your $100 bet is going to return 23.17 on DraftKings. I'm locking it in. It's a guarantee. We drive to Oregon every week to place these bets. I'm driving up after this. Or, no, not after this.
Easy, pal.
Tomorrow
morning. Yeah.
And we're going to lock that in. So let us know if you're tailing it because it's hitting.
We're gonna tweet it.
We're gonna go 3
We're gonna
for
make
5
sure
right now.
it hits the C Easy Bets tomorrow morning, and we'll retweet it on @ShotsLadders, which is our Twitter account. We'll post it on @ShotsLadders on Instagram, @ShotsLadders on TikTok. It'll be everywhere. With the hot streak that Connor's on, with $100 bets, you could have placed $2,700 bets. And you would be even right now with what Connor's winning on his bets as far as player props go. So no reason not to tail it. As always, bet at your own risk. We can't guarantee anything. It is gambling. Last thing I want to talk about before we build the ladder, though, Sam, you're 4 hours away from the humble town of Boise, Idaho, where Connor and I reside.
I am.
I want to know if you hear the noise. Do you hear the fucking noise?
The noise from that one man's footsteps? Is that what you're talking about right now?
That one man, number two.
Number two.
Number
I
two.
can hear him from 4 hours, 400 miles away. The Heisman.
Ashton,
the only
the
choice
Heisman.
for Heisman.
Fucking
Travis
Genty.
Hunter. You are a great football
Fuck
player.
off.
If he wins the Heisman, it is a social media award. That is disturbing.
Yeah,
Ashton
that's fair.
Genty is generational. This is ridiculous. Come on.
He is unfucking believable. I get to watch him live tomorrow at Albertson Stadium.
Clap it up for that.
I'm so excited, man. I'm even taking my little boy.
That's a privileged young man right there.
Young Cole, he gets to watch
Good for him.
First Broncos game.
His
First Broncos
That's
game.
a player to watch.
Ashton Genty in the flesh. I'm so freaking excited for this game, but I'm more excited about just Boise State football, number one, Ashton Genty, and his Heisman race. I remember times where I would be hopeful about someone winning the Heisman or whatever, and I'd look on Twitter and just the comments are just shitting on this person with reason after reason after reason why they shouldn't. When you see somebody post a top 5 Heisman list and it has Ashton Genty at number 4, the top 6 comments on Twitter are, how is Ashton Genty not number 1? How is Ashton Genty not number 1? How is Ashton Genty not number 1? And then you'll see fucking on Instagram, I saw an Ashton Genty post and the top comment was, he hasn't played anybody though. And the reason it was the top comment wasn't because of the amount of likes it had. It was the amount of comments of people saying, he's played Oregon, scored 3 touchdowns. He's played Wazoo, who was 4-0, scored 4 touchdowns. He played Georgia
Notable
Southern,
defense
who
as
hasn't
well.
lost since
Yeah.
Boise State, and he scored 6 touchdowns. He played Portland State, had 160 yards. Boise State was in the red zone. They were on the 5-yard line, 3 drives in a row, and instead of handing it off to Ashton Genty for the easy touchdown, they dumped it off to their tight end who had a career game because Spencer Danielson, head coach of the Boise State Broncos, he doesn't want to pad the stats. He doesn't want to make it look like Boise State Broncos football is trying to get Ashton Genty the Heisman. No, they're not letting him score touchdowns unless he's scoring them from 20 yards out. And I fucking
And he's
love it.
doing it every time.
Because he's doing it.
There's not
He's
another
doing it.
person that's playing
Every
like he's playing. in
single
college
time
football.
that guy touches the goddamn football, everybody's on their toes. You think this could be it? This could be a touchdown.
So we will be videoing. We will be partying. We'll be
I love
cheering on Ashton
I
Genty.
cannot wait for that game tomorrow. But
So excited.
How cool is it? How cool is it that we got that guy here in Idaho? It's
The
Dude,
most recognition
best-
a Boise State player has ever, in my opinion, ever got.
Kellen
Kellen Moore didn't even get this
best
much
Boise State
recognition.
player since Kellen Moore. I was just gonna say, and like you said about the stat padding.
I think he's better than
He's
Kellen.
way better than Kellen. He's probably the best college football player since Barry Sanders, and he's on track to break Barry.
That's the
maybe
stats
since
he's
Reggie
on, yeah.
Bush. But
Yeah.
it's
I
This
saw
unbelievable.
guy-
he's on pace for 3,300 yards and like 30-something touchdowns right now.
This
It's
guy plays the
ridiculous.
whole
It's never
game. He's
should have
over
never been
1,000 yards in 4 football games
Yeah,
against Division I teams. Man, crazy.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it's nuts. So
I
we're
love
very
it.
excited for that.
Yeah,
We'll definitely be
I'm
sending some
jazzed up.
videos.
I
out.
have a $15 bet that I placed at the beginning of the year on Ashton Genty to win Heisman for $600. $15,
Wow.
2,600. Starting to
Good
look
for
like
you.
a good bet.
Huge
That is
bet.
looking good right now.
But Boise State as a whole is going to be a college football playoff team as well. If they win out, I mean the toughest matchups we have, San Diego State's going to be tough, but then we have UNLV in Vegas.
Who just had their
on a
backup
Friday
quarterback
night.
come out and do some nasty stuff.
Yeah,
last
they
week.
had the
He's
guy
looking pretty good.
Sluka went out because of NIL reasons or whatever. It's a bunch of controversy, but
Oh yeah.
or controversy, if you will. But they've got they're a wagon, and now they're a ranked team. So we're gonna have a ranked as long as both teams win out till that matchup. I think it's 3 weeks from now. UNLV versus Boise State will be a ranked matchup in Vegas on a Friday night. I'm so excited to watch that game because if Boise State wins that game, see, a lot of the media thinks that the best Power 5 team, best Power 5 conference champion automatically gets ranked 12. That's not the way it works. It's the highest ranked conference champion in the group of 5 gets whatever rank they're at. So if the highest ranked group of 5 conference champion is Boise State and they're ranked, say, 15, then they'd be the 12th ranked team. But if they're
Gotcha.
ranked 11th or 10th, they don't automatically get the 12th seed. They get the 11th seed or the 10th seed. Like, Boise State could be not even the lowest seed in the college football playoff, the first 12-team college football playoff, as a group of 5 team coming out of Boise fucking Idaho. Dude, I couldn't be more
I'll
excited
be so excited.
about. I'm elated, but I just want to know if you were hearing the noise in Idaho Falls, and I'm glad you are because
I'm
it's.
glad you're hearing the chants because they're
I
loud.
hear those heavy hooves from 400 miles away. That guy's a
I love
monster.
it.
Go Boise.
Are you seeing more? I know there's a lot of BYU fans in Idaho Falls because of the heavily populated
Yeah.
Mormon community, but are you seeing a lot of Boise State gear around town?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm seeing a lot of decals on vehicles lately, as a matter of fact. And we got people
Really?
coming in from California. For a little bit, I was seeing some stuff from Cal. Was seeing some Chargers. Seeing no, wouldn't go that far. I've never seen any UC Davis stuff. Nothing that crazy, but whatever they came in with, they have changed. They are now Boise State fans, and it is crazy around here. And it's cool
hard
too
not
because
to.
you're on social media. You think, oh, maybe it's a little bit of my algorithm. I'm around here, like so. Of course, I'm gonna be saying Boise State stuff. But this guy is getting talked about nationwide, and it is so cool
Yeah.
as people from Idaho. So
Dude, I'll see
I love
a
it.
big tweet about about Ashton Genty or about Boise State, and I'm so used to seeing something like that and clicking on the person that tweeted it and seeing that they live in Boise or that they work for Channel 6 News in Boise. But to see
Yeah.
shit about Ashton Genty and Boise State and click on the user and they're they live in fucking Maine and
Yeah.
they're just
Just the complete opposite side of the
holy-
country.
Yeah.
they're
People that have never
Maryland
heard of
churches,
Idaho now know about Idaho.
Yeah, nobody's asking if we mean Iowa anymore. I love it.
That's right. That's right.
All
That's
right,
huge.
let's build this ladder.
All
All
right.
right.
You boys fucking ready? We're hitting this one. That
I'm
spread
ready.
is now no longer cursed. The Seahawks are winning this game.
Okay.
Don't have to worry about it. What are we feeling for our next couple bets here? So the couple that we all agreed upon, is we have Bills over Texans.
Okay.
All 3 of us agreed on that. We have Cardinals plus 7.5 against the Niners. Don't want to put that on the bottom row because as much
No.
as we're all agreeing on it, don't love it. We all got Dolphins over the Patriots.
Okay.
We all
Hate that.
have Packers -3 against the Rams.
I like that one.
Those
Like
are
that
the
one.
three that we are all in solid agreement upon. There's a couple that we didn't talk about as far as over-unders that I really like. Cowboys Steelers over 44 feels good.
Yeah.
Saints Chiefs over 43.5 feels great. What was the other ones? Jaguars Colts under 46 I like.
So is that a Monday night over, Saints Chiefs?
Saints Chiefs would be a Monday night over.
So we hit the last Monday night over. Why don't we ride the hot hand?
I'm 100% okay to ride that hot hand.
Okay.
Saints Chiefs over 43.5. Sam?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay.
I don't know. They're missing Rashee Rice. I don't think it matters, and I think the Saints are very, very capable of putting up points as well. I'm down for it.
Okay.
I love it.
Let's go. I
really like the Packers -3.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love the Packers.
I like
That's
Packers
like the next
-3 a
one,
lot.
Yeah.
We all love Packers -3 a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
That makes
let's
me
throw
not
it
want
on
to write
there.
it down.
It's
All
not
right,
that
I'll
square.
do
We're
it. I'll
good.
do it.
It's not that square. We're good. Because that's one of the few ones that we're all going to agree upon. Now we're all going to have some debates here.
Okay, we got $50 on this one. You guys talk about what you want next. I'm gonna work up the numbers on this one.
What are you confident on over here, Sam? What are you feeling?
I'll tell you something, okay?
I
got
want to
something
hear.
I'm-
I want to hear something.
I'm going to tell you something right here. I've got one that I'm very confident in, but if you're okay with it, I'm actually going to save that for one of the last two legs because it might be a little bit scary to you guys, but I'm pretty
Okay.
confident in it. For now, for the first square of the second leg, let's see here. What have we got the Raiders Broncos under at?
Raiders Broncos over under is 35.5. It's low.
That's just very low. That's a little scary.
It's low, but I have the low.
You do have the low.
I do have the low on that one.
And then remind
Raiders,
me
Broncos?
on the Ravens Bengals line.
Ravens were -2.5 against the Bengals. Colson and I actually each took the Bengals +2.5.
Okay,
But
let's stay away from that one.
It feels
then.
like a complete
Stay away
toss.
from that one.
It feels like a toss up to me. The over
That's
under
fair.
on that one's 49, and that feels high. It's like I don't love anything about that one.
How do you guys feel about Vikings money line versus the Jets in London?
I don't like it. Aaron Rodgers is a veteran quarterback, and international games scare me. International games, I tend to.
How do you feel about the
Go.
over at 40.5?
I love the over at 40.
I like the over on that, 40.5.
Okay.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers escaping the U.S. government, bro. He's going to be a free man over there. He's going to love life. He's going to be
He
playing
can do
great.
any drug he wants to out there. He doesn't even
That
have
is
to worry
true.
about it.
That is true.
Okay, New York at Minnesota over 40.5.
We also got one more that we all agreed on, or we got two more that we all agreed on still.
So, yeah, remind me on the second one. We had Bills-Texans, and then we had Packers-Rams. What was that second one that we had?
We had Dolphins over the Patriots. Those were the other two
just
that we all
one.
agreed upon.
There's
Yeah.
too much. There's too many just
Snoop
negative
Huntley.
outliers.
Snoop Huntley getting it done against the Pats. Bills going into the Texans. I don't think the Bills lose 2 games in a row like that. They got their ass destroyed by the Ravens this week. I think Sean McDermott's going to come out. I think he's going to have some strong words for him, and I think they're played with a fire under him.
I like Bills money line here, -105.
Yeah. I mean, it's a toss-up, so
Yeah.
yeah, I love Bills money line.
What do you think
I
about
like
Bills
that
money
one.
line, Sam?
I like that
Okay.
one. I like that one. See the Texans lose here and just keep us in the division a little bit. That'd be nice.
Yep.
That division's wide.
Oh, yeah,
open,
that would be
brother.
big for you if the Bills won.
That's a
that one,
wacky
wouldn't it?
division right now. The Texans are not that far ahead of us, and they have not looked good since losing Mixon. And then the Titans and Jags have been off to a very rough start. It's still anyone's division. But it
Okay.
looks pretty good right now.
Based on, I don't know, everything else I'm saying. So the next couple that I love, Steelers and Cowboys over 44.
Don't like that one.
Don't like it? Okay.
Remind me on the spread on the Manders-Browns game.
Commanders are 3.5 point favorites.
Love that.
I like that one, man. I kind of do. Browns have not been productive on offense.
They
And the
haven't
Commanders
been.
are putting points
it
up.
feels like a trap game for me because everything in me wants everything
see
in me
that.
wants to take the Commanders. Every person right now is taking the Commanders. What did we look up earlier? It was like 80% of the money is on the Commanders spread, and like another 90% of the money is on the Browns. Like everyone's taking the Commanders right now. It feels like one that the Browns could upset. I might be down to throw that in this next tier.
Money line?
Or
with
money
the spread?
line. I would be okay actually taking the Commanders' money line here. I don't like the 3.5 point spread, but I would be down for Commanders' money line.
You good with that, Sam?
I like that one. I think that's pretty safe. I'm trying to remember the other one that I had cooked up earlier right now. I'm looking at all the games here trying to figure it out because I really, really liked something earlier when I was talking to Connor, and now I'm having
I love Broncos
I remember
minus
it.
3.
I remember it.
I love Broncos minus 3. Raiders don't have Devontae Adams. They don't have Zamir White. They don't have Max Crosby. They're missing every person, and they're playing in Denver. I think the Broncos snap this streak.
How long can we continue to not trust Denver and have it bite us, right?
I know, that's the thing. We've picked against them, and they keep ruining our picks.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Maybe
time
we
to
pick for them, and they're going to do it. Bo Nick's season.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Okay, that one's $10 to win.
Denver minus 3.
Denver at Las Vegas. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're doing.
It's when I do the money line.
Yeah, check me out.
So this one was Washington money line.
Yeah. Okay, Sam.
Right.
You said you had one cooked up for when we got down to the 9 and 11 legs. I want to hear what you got cooked up because we're at them. We're there.
Okay. And if you're not feeling it, you let me know. If you are, take any of the squares that you choose. Might be a little spooky here. I would take the Colts Jags over, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why right now. You said it was 43, I believe. I believe it was 43 is the 46. The Jaguars are going to put up 30 points alone. I can promise you that. Have you heard the trade talks right now about Travis Etienne?
I have not.
There's people are just kind of debating about it. They're like, "Hey, should these guys think about losing Travis Etienne right here before the trade deadline? These guys are 0-4. They're not looking good. They're looking like it's kind of sell what we can right now and get the most out of it
against the terrible Gus Bradley." And I guess the Colts defense has something to do with it too, but fuck Gus
exactly.
Bradley.
I think that Etienne's going to break 2 big runs for touchdowns this game. Doug Peterson's going to be, people wanted to trade this guy. Like, we never even thought once about trading this guy. They're going to put up 30 points alone. I trust us to get the other 16. I like the over on that game.
Okay.
I like, at this point, on one of those last two, throw in the last one that we were all in agreement upon the whole time.
Miami.
Miami.
Okay.
Either on this one or the top one, whichever one you guys are feeling. But I feel like it needs to be on there.
Let's go this one. Do we want -1 at -105 or money line at -1?
-1's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And the last two. What you guys feeling?
The last two here. Miami.
Let's go 10 on this one. Let's go $10 to win 2,042.
Feeling confident. I love it.
Let's see. Let me pick your guys' brains real quick here. Let's go back to that Bears-Panthers spread. How do you guys feel about that one? I believe it was a 4-point favorite for the Bears.
For the Bears, yeah. I like the Panthers +4.
You like the Panthers covering? I kind of feel the same.
So I took the Bears -4, but I've been on the Panthers train this whole year. I'm okay to put the Panthers +4 up there.
Okay.
If that's what you guys want.
Or I'm also game. I waffled pretty hard on the Steelers.
Oh, we already put that one up there. Never mind.
I waffled pretty hard on the Steelers -3, but I do like -3 Steelers, but I'm good with Panthers with the money. Panthers
Panthers
with
plus
the
4?
points. Yeah, Panthers +4.
Panthers with the points.
So let's go Carolina +4. Okay. Now
Let's see here.
Last leg here.
we haven't bet on the Bengals, Ravens, Cardinals, Niners, or the Cowboys, Steelers. I'm happy with taking Niners money line here. I'm happy with taking Bengals with the points +2.5. I'm happy with taking the Steelers with the points, or I'm
If
happy
we're
with the
if we're
under.
betting on the Steelers game, I'd rather take the over.
Over 44.
Over.
I would rather take the over as well, actually, on that one.
Okay.
43, right?
44.
44?
I with the way I've seen the Steelers been playing, I think the Steelers can put up 20 to 30, and I think the Cowboys are plenty capable of putting up 15 to 20.
Yep.
And I think the over hits.
Yep. I like that one.
Okay.
We cooked it up. The 11-leg parlay,
Throw a fiver on that one.
$5.
So in total then, first leg, we got Seahawks money line. We got Saints Chiefs over 43.5. And we got the Packers -3. That $50 bet is going to win $231. Couple that with the next two. We got the Vikings and the Jets over 40.5. And the Bills money line. $25 bet on that wins us $434. Next leg, we got Commanders money line and Broncos -3. That $10 bet is going to win $543. Next one, we got Jaguars and Colts over 46 and Dolphins -1. That $10 bet is going to win us $2,042. And then the last leg, we're throwing in Panthers +4 and the Steelers Cowboys over 44. That $5 bet is going to win us $3,755 for a total bet of $100 and a total win of $7,005. This is the week. We make this shit back.
That's a parlay right there.
Dude, that's a
That's
parlay.
awesome.
Couple that with the $2,300 we're going to win from the player prop parlay. We're going to have a $9,000 week.
Plus, there's going to be other bets. We're going to have a $10,000 week. That, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a first home buyer, FHA loan, that's down payment on a house.
That is.
That's correct.
That's down payment on a
correct.
house. This is I'm excited. I'm so excited for this. I think this is the most confident we've been. I think this is the least amount of risk with these three bets. $50 to win $231. I'm jacked up, man.
And another fun aspect is if all 10 of these hits and it comes down to this Monday night game,
Oh my god!
and we get to sweat this together,
Yeah, that's
I
gonna
love
be
it.
electric.
we're gonna turn on the camera. We're gonna video this. Sam, you're gonna jump on the call with us. We're all gonna fucking watch this game together.
Yeah.
we might have to.
I love
we might
it.
have to fly you down from IF. If these
I was
10 hit
gonna
and it's
say
down to
here.
the last one, you might have to make a trip down to Boise for this game.
I was just gonna say here, take any leg you like after the first leg, whichever one on that board you're feeling confident with here. Take that pick. That pick hits. The weekend after this weekend, I'll come down. We'll watch some football. Whichever one you guys are feeling.
Give me Washington money line for that bet.
Washington money line against the Browns. All right.
Sam
All right.
comes to Boise.
Okay.
Sam comes to Boise. Put that in the
An
parlay.
in-person show and hang out all Sunday to watch the games. Let's do it.
If you're watching and you take this parlay and it hits, I will not come to your city. I will be in Boise. That's not for you. That's just us. So sorry about that.
Let me out. I might come out.
Well,
Okay.
boys, let's go Broncos. We're
Let's
gonna
go
get this
Broncos.
video up by. It'll be up by 12 p.m. 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Saturday, October 5th. I'm really pumped about the ladder parlay we built. I'm excited to follow along with you guys and see how we do. I think we're going to have a hell of a week. I'm excited to see how your ladder parlay does, Connor. I think you are going to have a hell of a Sunday as far as that goes.
I'm excited.
And I'm fucking pumped to watch Boise State football tomorrow and watch Ashton Jeanty do what he does.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be electrifying. This wraps up our 5th episode of Shots and Ladders. We're going to keep taking shots. We're going to keep building ladders, building ladder parlays. All you got to do, keep watching, hit the subscribe button, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok at Shots Ladders, follow at CEZ Bets for your Monday and Thursday night player prop bets. I hope you guys have a hell of a football Sunday. I hope you have a hell of a college football Saturday. Let's make it a good one.
Let's make some money.
Let's go.